Where?
Oh yeah, well I had to get this going because people are waiting, and besides, there's always a time where we start this thing, and the algorithm needs to like let everybody know what we're doing and all that stuff. So by the way, I'm not allowed to cuss in the first 2 minutes. Do not let me say a cuss word in the first 2 minutes.
If you do, I'm gonna go bling, bling, or
Yeah,
whatever
because
they do.
like they'll demonetize us and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Okay, so what's up, guys? How you doing? The first thing I want to do before we get started and before everyone starts logging on is how's the microphone? Can you hear me good? Can you understand what I'm saying? Milena, you talk too. I want to get us
Yeah.
both.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? It's the real question because I'm the one who doesn't speak loud enough normally. But hopefully this is better.
So you can hear me good. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Perfect. So let's see what we got going here. Sorry I'm late, guys, but as you can see, I was rendering something. Don't worry. Thanks to you guys, well, in part with y'all, in part.
Start again.
Start again. In part with y'all's help, VonAllen Sports was able to get a new computer. So we got a new computer waiting for us in West Hollywood, which is our future studio for this. And that new computer is going to allow me to render out videos and all kinds of good stuff really freaking fast and efficient. Okay? And that's what made us late. I was rendering out this background, and I didn't realize it was going to take so long. I guess I had too many layers and too many animations, but I did all of this. I hope you guys like it. You know, me and the Red Coat were talking. The Red Coat said, "Hey, that badass thing you had going last week was cool, but it didn't represent the Empire." And he was absolutely correct. And I said, "You know what, Red Coat? You're right." So that's what we did. Looks like I'm cutting your arm off here. Hang on.
Mine?
Yeah.
Which part?
Sorry
which
about that.
Part of the arm? It might be my laptop.
No. It's me. It's I've got your
Okay.
frame cut off there. Yeah. Okay. I got you fixed. All right.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hey, it looks like we have our first super chat.
Oh,
From Addie.
Addie Visorno renders unto Caesar. Thank you, my son. He sends $2, or depending on what century we're in, 2 Florians or 2 Sesterci, or whatever you want to call it. And it says Madden curse about to hit 2 people at once now. So tonight we're going to get started first with the Madden curse. I have a lot to say about that. Then we're going to talk about some Patriots training camp things, and I even got an anecdotal story for you guys, just from my experience with hanging around the Cardinals for a season, and in relation to what we saw so far coming out of Patriots training camp. And we also have to talk about Chris Sims. We've been on for longer than 2 minutes. Chris Sims is a freaking douche. All right?
I gotta tell you, I think
Go ahead.
I can confirm that. I second that after listening to some things that we're gonna talk about.
Now.
Okay.
All right, so let me do my usual when we first get started. I want to say hi to everybody, and then we'll go. All right? So thanks to all you guys for being here. Nightwalker, of course. Badass dude. Jake Saunders is here, but actually he can't be here. He's going to have to watch it later, but he did make a comment. Now, see, that's dedication. Okay? That is what it means to be part of the Empire. Okay? This dude, he's Missouri Boy State right now. Can't even do it, but he came in, he freaking laid down some big comments for us. Thank you so much, man. Justin Chetlet's here. See it twice, of course, him and his great sense of humor. Celtics Nation, what's up, man? Michael McCourt. I'm in a great mood tonight, man. This whole week has just given me nothing but material. These freaking idiots. All week long. Good material.
Oh.
Michael McCourt, keep your earbuds on, man, because if you're at work, and people are gonna be looking around going, I'm gonna be talking so much shit tonight that your boss is gonna hear me talking, and they're gonna walk in, and you're gonna be so uncomfortable that you're gonna look at him and go, boss, I was watching porn. I promise, man. I promise. Because you'll be so worried about him knowing what you're really listening to, like he'll be offended. Okay?
Should we close the windows?
Yes.
I'm worried about our neighbors.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
It's
because
like,
Bulgarians hearing
what time is it?
an American get all mad. They probably think we're coming to bomb them again, like we did in World War II. So. All right. Salami Pizza's here. I get hungry every time I see their name. Ozymandias, what's up, man? Frank Ridley. Hey, Frank, thanks for signing up. I saw you signed up recently. Salami Pizza did too. Thank you guys so much. Dinnerling. Straight from Germany. It means he's up late with us. Which, it won't be much longer. We're going home, guys. We're going home.
Donnie's here.
Next Friday night will be our last show in Bulgaria.
Right.
So we'll have a Bulgarian send-off. How about that? Blacker 58's here. Blacker 58, fairly new guy. Welcome, Odson mate. I still can't pronounce your freaking name. I don't even know. Okay. Donnie, Take a Pic is here. Awesome, man. Thank you. This guy, Take a Pic and Nightwalker. Those two are leading the Brady MVP Trophy Fund, which we are still accepting super chats. All of your super chats go towards the trophy. We've not met our number yet, and we're still trying to get an estimate, and I'll get that to you guys as soon as we get it. But it's going to be expensive, so we might as well just keep doing it. Because, yeah. Jalen's here. Jalen still has not changed his username, and his picture profile is still a bad scan of his driver's license. Okay. Rafael Hagoy, 49ers fan, is here. He says he's confused. We'll ask you why you're confused here in a second. Michael McCourt. Thank you, Donnie. Michael McCourt.
I'm having a conversation. Like,
okay.
Go on.
Okay. The red coat is here.
Hello,
I see him right
Mr.
there.
Red Coat.
Let's see.
Do you have a fish named Colin?
Yeah, red coat. Do you have a fish named Colin?
I thought not.
I thought not. But as you can see, red coat, we took your advice, and this is the new setup. Well, I think I gave a shout out to everybody who at least made their presence known. Brian's here. Awesome. Dave98. What's up, man? Donnie Thomas. I love seeing the new people here. Lord Darkside's here. John Thomas Chavez. Tyree Vaughn. What's up, Tyree? Marcus415. Welcome, man. All right. Let's see. Why did I just say that so funny? Why did I say welcome, Mom?
No, you didn't.
Welcome, Mom. Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
I don't know. A little bit, but it's
boom. So let's do this. Okay.
What is that?
Rafael Hugo, all I know is
Subscribe.
Chris Sims is a bitch. So I missed some Caesar tributes. Did I not?
Not sure how these work.
Caesar, see it twice. Yep, I sure did.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I see.
So they went off when I was still talking. So okay. We got a $5 super chat from See It Twice. He says, Madden cover have a pair of faces that say, I just won the Super Bowl and I just tried really, really hard. Okay. Raphael, when you're doing the custom emojis, don't put the space, just put the colon, then VAS torque, or, I mean, not VAS, you just put torque. So colon, torque, colon. You close it like that, and then it pops up.
Okay, got it.
What's up, Brian? Doing good. How you doing, Marcus? Okay. Jalen's arguing with me, says he doesn't want to change it. Okay, that's cool, dude. Just keep going with the
ridiculousness.
All of it. Okay. So I'll eventually get you to change it. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to come up with something.
Holy crap.
Eddie, contributing more towards the trophy. Another super chat.
Yes, but where's the render unto Caesar? There it is. There's my stupid face on an awesome body.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
which I still have to
That's actually your face.
I still have to change because I shouldn't be wearing that much armor if I'm emperor and all. Actually, that armor should be Redcoat's armor. So we're gonna have to change that soon. But that's all I had for now. Addy Visorno renders unto Caesar $20. He says trophy funds. Still, it'll be the closest the Browns get to getting a trophy. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Addy. I think their time is coming. I'm not saying you'll win, but I'm saying I think you guys can get there. So have faith. Too talented of a team. You've got way too much on both sides of the ball. What does it take to not only win a Super Bowl but become a dynasty? You have to have a balanced offense and defense and some good coaching. We'll see what your coach is all about. See if he's got what it takes. So far, so good, obviously. So he got Coach of the Year. So we'll see if he sticks on that. All right. Thank you so much, Addy. I appreciate it, man. And Tom Brady thanks you, or he will eventually. So.
Yeah. And.
Yeah, just call yourself Jalen VAS or something like that, or Jalen Empire or whatever, because you're part of the Empire. Why not? Right? So, I'm kidding with you. Do what you want, man. I'm just messing with you. You don't have to change it. I'm just totally messing with you. So. All right, here.
And where are you? Reading the chat? Because we got another super chat from Israel.
Oh, awesome. Israel renders unto Caesar two sesterces. He says, yeah, hear about Le'Veon Bell. What a diva. Okay, we'll start off with that since this is addressed in the super chat. Le'Veon Bell, of course, just got released, wanted out of the Chiefs. And he says, I will never play under Andy Reid ever again. So he's suddenly making his failures about Andy Reid. So Le'Veon Bell, who, well, idiotically got himself out of Pittsburgh by holding out for a year from a good team, which if him and Antonio Brown didn't act like complete morons, Pittsburgh probably has a Super Bowl by now. I think, in fact, in 2015, if they were still together, they possibly could have taken out Denver, maybe. But that's only if everybody wasn't fighting. So I'm talking like a tight-knit group. But anyway, so this guy, why is LeBron hated? Why is that on my fucking... Anyway. Fuck LeBron. Okay, anyway. So Le'Veon Bell leaves Pittsburgh, great situation, holds out for a year, and then signs with the Jets. Why would you do that? Like,
okay.
What kind of mental deficiency, what kind of brain damage would you have to sign with the Jets on purpose, right? Okay. So then he blames everybody for that. Then he goes to the Chiefs and doesn't do a damn thing, okay?
Not a
damn thing. And then he gets released and he's acting like a bitch. So
whatever that means, but
disrespecting
yeah.
One of the most respected coaches in the league, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
A Super Bowl champion, has coached in the last 3 AFC Championship games, has coached in 9 championship games total, which is insane. All right. And whose word are we supposed to take? Andy Reid's side of the story or Le'Veon Bell's?
Okay, let's think about it for a moment.
All right. see, Jalen, the thing about the $35 million guaranteed that Le'Veon Bell got, he could have got a better deal with a better team. What I mean by a better deal is go to a winner. You'd still get that in a longer term deal, a little less. But if you're on a good team, that turns into endorsements. And he's probably still starting in the league right now. Okay? So he would already be on a second, possibly even a third contract by now if he was going 1 to 2 years per time. So he would have eclipsed that 35 million mark a long time ago. Let's not forget the amount of money he lost when he set out, because the franchise tag would have paid him somewhere around 13 million guaranteed right there, and he lost all of that when he set out. So no, that was a dumb situation for him. It was an absolute dumb decision. If VonAllen Sports was around when he made that decision, I would have said, you're an idiot, buddy. So, all right. I have no idea what they're talking about. You guys always have some kind of weird internal conversation inside another internal conversation. I can't keep up. Sometimes I'm not even sure if you guys are listening to what I'm saying. But anyway,
okay.
We'll just move on.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is the Madden cover. So let me see. Let's pop this up here real quick. Okay. As you guys can see, it has Tom Brady and a guy who just lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a comment?
Do I?
Okay.
Where do I start?
Let's start with this. Okay? First of all, I just want to say this, okay? Regarding the Madden cover, I don't care who they put on the cover, okay? It's their company. It's their choice. It's their decision. Whatever they feel is best for their marketing, okay? So that's cool. I ain't got a problem with that. That's not what this is about. What this is about is just me. I'm just pointing out their flawed logic. The flawed logic in their advertising campaign. Their own advertising and their own messaging and their own logos. And I'm just wanting to point that out. And that's my issue here. And also the implications of what they're trying to say. So there's a whole generation of young kids right now who buy this stupid game, and they are going to believe this junk. So it's our job to make them unbelieve it. Donnie, take a pic. Renders unto Caesar $5 and says Bell went to Jets on Chris Sims' recommendation. That's got to be the only possibility, honestly. It's got to be. It makes sense. His daddy played in New York, so he's probably got a hard-on for New York. And God, that's disgusting to even think about. Thank you so much, Donnie. I appreciate it, man. And with this Madden cover, is my first problem is the original advertising for it. So the first teaser advertisement was a barn with 2 little goats in it. What's my first problem? My first problem is those were female goats. They were girls.
Oh, yeah. Really?
You know what a billy goat is? Maybe you couldn't use one of them? Well, okay, that's fine. Whatever. That's not even my problem. I just thought of that. They were cute, though. Goats are cute. Goats. Okay, so...
Especially like baby goats are cute.
And baby goats are really cute, yeah. All right. Anyway, so my problem is that they're showing 2 goats. So I instantly think, like all of the rational thinking world is thinking, that's got to be
2 goats.
2 of the greatest players of all time, right? Now, one of them has to be Brady. You know that already. But then the goats do this little explosion thing. They jump out of the barn. And then Peyton Hillis is the farmer. Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden about, 10 years, somewhere around a decade ago. He had that one big season and it was never heard from again. But Peyton Hillis is dressed as the farmer, and he calls up and he says, guys, They've done it again. Okay, so let's analyze this for a second. 2 GOATs. They've done it again. The only logical explanation in my mind would have been that has to be Brady and Gronk. It has to be.
Yeah.
So who's the go-to quarterbacks and players? Tom Brady. Who's the go-to tight ends? Gronk, or at least most people, or a lot of people think that. And if you say Tony Gonzalez, yeah, I'm gonna vomit on you. Okay, I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna vomit on your kitchen table. I'm gonna put up my feet. And before I come in, I'm gonna walk through horse shit. All right, and I'm gonna track it all in your living room. Okay, so you have to clean it up. That's what I'm gonna do if you think Tony Gonzalez is the GOAT tight end. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So that was the most logical explanation because remember, Peyton Hillis said they've done it again.
It's set up like that.
So
Done it again.
what just happened? Tom Brady and Gronk has done it again. They've won the Super Bowl again. It's the only logical explanation for this, correct? Following their own advertising. All right. So we'll put a pin in that for a second. Then the cover comes out and it says MVP edition. Okay. Patrick Mahomes won 2 things in the NFL this year. Jack and shit. Okay? And Jack was stolen by his backup, who had to finish his AFC Championship ring for him. Okay? So what is Patrick Mahomes MVP of? MVP of almost doing something? MVP of almost completing a pass? I mean, is that the standard now? So what is he the MVP of? I would like to know this. What does that mean? The last time I checked, Aaron Rodgers won MVP, and Tom Brady won Super Bowl MVP. So if we're just... Forget about the GOATs thing for a second. If we're going by MVP edition, wouldn't this be Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, wouldn't it also make at least a little more sense that the GOATs, plural, which I don't agree with, by the way, but it would at least make more sense, 2 GOATs referring to Rodgers and Brady, as in they're both greatest of all time. They're in the, like, Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Hall of Fame already. But see, you can't even say that about Mahomes yet. You can't.
No.
All right?
It's too premature.
Something Chris Sims knows a lot about, especially when he's around Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So again, doesn't make sense. Now, there would be a contradiction if it was Aaron Rodgers, because remember, Peyton Hillis in the commercial said they've done it again, and Aaron Rodgers has not won a second Super Bowl. So, again, would have to refer to they won MVPs again, right? But, Milena, I ask you, what in the hell has Patrick Mahomes done again?
Well, lost again on the playoffs to Tom Brady? I mean, is that it? I mean, is that what they're trying to say?
Holy shit. Where did you get that from?
I mean...
That's good. That's good. So what has Patrick... Yeah, that's a good point. So you're saying is Patrick Mahomes... What has he done again? What Patrick Mahomes has done again?
Lost another
playoff game. To Tom Brady.
Yeah. So...
That's good.
Done it again. Remember, we're leaving the age of where, everyone wins. So if you lose twice, it means you also done it again. You really deserve to be there. I mean,
I'm so proud of you right now. Okay, we've come a long way.
That's my marketing mind coming from my background.
But you've come a long way.
People put that there. They actually sat there and in long discussions and decided, yeah, let's do that. So.
But you've come a long way since 2012, since asking me remedial questions about football, since you're from Europe, and you said, why does that quarterback keep yelling Omaha all the time? It's fucking driving me crazy. And questions like, why do they keep talking about this guy named Tim Tebow so damn much?
Team Tebow. They used to. Now again.
And I remember your classic when we were at Barner's Beanery. Who is that quarterback? He's extremely good looking. And I said, that guy is, of course, the prophet. Tom Brady. Okay.
Ridiculously good looking.
But that's good. You've been paying attention. That's good. That's good. It's real good.
No,
Okay.
I mean, it's not even about paying attention. It's just... I don't know.
Hey, it is about paying attention. To know that he's lost to Tom Brady twice in the playoffs, that's pretty damn good. I like it.
It's just,
why not think of that?
Like you said, the logic there is completely throwing me off. He's not the MVP. He's not the GOAT. Why is he there? It seems like this was planned, as you said, for either Gronk or Aaron Rodgers. Probably was planned for Aaron Rodgers. And then someone said, well, let's have Mahomes because whatever reason they didn't want to go with, So they
maybe you're right. Maybe they did have Aaron Rodgers, but all this controversy about him leaving the Packers, maybe they didn't know where he was going to go.
Promote him or
I don't see why that's a problem. Okay, but they did do something like this before. Okay, so in 2008. The Madden cover, it was going into 2009 though. No, I'm sorry. It was going into 2008. I had it right the first time.
Yeah.
They put Brett Favre on the cover. But the problem is that Brett Favre retired and then came back and then they sent him to the Jets. Mm-hmm. So they had to reissue new covers, like put sleeves over the original cover with him wearing a Jets uniform instead of a Packers uniform. So maybe they didn't want to go through that again. Perhaps you're right. Maybe you are right. Maybe they did intend Rodgers. Because that makes more sense. I mean, Gronk, based on their own advertising, based on the commercial, which they clearly filmed a long time ago, that Gronk and Brady makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But even Aaron Rodgers and Brady makes sense because they both won MVPs this year. And of course, Tom Brady won the most coveted MVP trophy, the VonAllen Sports MVP, which of course trumps them all. So there you go.
Yes, it does.
But this is my problem with it. So my problem is based on their own advertising, they fucked it up. Yeah. We have Eddie Bissono renders unto Caesar $5, and he says, "Fun fact: Browns have never lost a playoff game to Tom Brady."
Yeah.
Hey, golf clap. And hug. Addie, we're hugging you. Yes, Addie, that is true. You've got us on this. Yep. Great job, buddy. Great job. John Thomas Chavez, $5 super chat, renders unto Caesar. I heard that there is a cover with Brady and Gronk on it, but going by EA's prices, you have to sell your kidney and Chris Sims' spleen to get it. Wow. Yeah. I'm not surprised they would do that, actually. But at least it would correct the mistake. Thank you for that. See it twice. Renders unto Caesar $5. It says Madden 22 MVP edition. And Patrick's there too. Yeah. Okay, so people say, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes. People said this to me today. They said, oh, but Patrick Mahomes was an MVP. Okay, well, that was in 2018, man. Lamar Jackson was MVP in 2019. So why isn't he on there?
Right.
You see, I mean, where does this end? And how is, if with that logic, how the hell is Aaron Rodgers not on it, who is the current MVP? Yes.
Yeah.
The more you know. The more you know. Okay?
They just couldn't get a picture of them together. Who knows what kind of silly excuse they have, you know?
I don't know. I'm buying this. Dinnerling may be onto something here.
What's he saying?
Dinnerling says, but if EA Sports was watching our MVP stream, they would have figured out that Mahomes actually won the regular season MVP and Brady the all-around MVP. I like it. Good job, German.
Yes.
That's nice, dude. I love that. That's freaking awesome. Good job. I really do like that, actually. That's I like that. So it's true. It's true.
That version
hey,
best.
Guys, let me tell you something. I thought for certain that we were about to send this damn trophy to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It was to the point where we were even having conversations like, you know, I wonder what Patrick Mahomes' birthstone is and crap like that. And I'm sorry, not his birthstone. I wonder how we get a hold of him. Was the idea like where do we were looking into it because I had already thought that he was going to win. We didn't come up with the birthstone thing till later, so I don't know why I said that actually, but yeah.
But
I believed that our first trophy was Patrick Mahomes. Remember, we even had a conversation. Me and I believe I talked to the Red Coat about this. That we said sending this to Mahomes is going to be painful, but it will really look good for credibility.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were thinking it was a big positive. Like our first trophy goes to Mahomes, a guy that we think's overrated and all that. So. But then, of course, Tom goes full on Tom. We couldn't have possibly known that he would not only have a great Super Bowl, but Mahomes would have a shitty one. And like I've said before, all it would have taken for Mahomes is to simply just get a touchdown. All he had to do was throw a touchdown pass or rush for a touchdown, and he is the VonAllen Sports MVP. He could have lost the game. They could have lost the game 31-17 because I'm sure they would have gone for a 2-point conversion. Probably got it. So they could have lost 31-17 and Mahomes would still be the VonAllen Sports MVP. That's all he had to do.
Yeah. Hey, I like something else. Check out John Thomas Chavez's super chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not just that.
Yeah.
Although he didn't throw a touchdown pass, all he had to do was not throw those 2 interceptions. If he didn't throw those 2 interceptions, he wouldn't need a touchdown pass. And he still would have been MVP. Unbelievable. John Thomas Chavez, $2 super chat, says, I figured it out. The Torque MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's got torque, dude. He's got a lot of torque.
So.
But I don't know why that's not coming up correctly. There's no space. You just type colon and then you just type torque. You don't need the VAS. I don't know why that's happening. I apologize, guys. Can't do nothing about it.
I see it as Torque MVP.
But yeah, Mahomes had it in the bag. I mean. All he had to do was just play an average game. Just an average game. An average Mahomes game is like a great game for anybody else. Okay? Yeah. The dude is on the Chiefs, and in that situation, the dude is electric. Okay? All he had to do was just average. And Tom still couldn't have overcome him. The exact prediction, and you guys can go back and look in the history. For those of you who are members, you can look into the live archives. And you can go and look and see that we talked about this very situation. We said, someone asked, how can Tom Brady win this? And I said, a freaking miracle. What it would take is for Tom to go on a run all through the playoffs, throwing touchdowns, winning. Yeah. Okay, so as long as he's winning, his interceptions aren't hurting him. But he's got to play well. He's got to go through the gauntlet, and he's got to win the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes, assuming Patrick was going to be in the AFC side, which he was always going to. No one was going to threaten them last year. Patrick would have to play like crap. That was the prediction. And that is exactly what freaking happened. What's up, Cobra King? I like your profile there. Pretty cool. Redcoat says, indeed, we discussed that a while. It was actually a useful thought at the time whilst being annoying. Exactly. We thought, wow, this is going to give us some real credibility here, baby. Starting off with a bang. It's going to suck, but at the same time, why not, right? So.
Yes, but no.
I remember thinking in this situation, Patrick would still win the MVP, but Tom would get the Super Bowl. So I thought it'd be a win-win, you know? So we still got Tom winning the Super Bowl, but the trophy goes to... I just still can't believe it. Honestly, if you guys believe in fate or anything like that, it almost seems like it, really. So... All right. So I think I've said everything I want to say about the Madden cover. Again, it was just I was just confused by their own advertising, their own branding that doesn't make any sense, and it still doesn't. There's absolutely zero place and 0 cents for Mahomes in either the GOAT commercial or the MVP edition, assuming that we're going by the logical recent season, which for the longest time I thought they did. I thought that was the deal, actually, but maybe it's not. I heard recently that maybe sometimes they've not done that, so whatever. But again, if they're going off script and saying, well, Mahomes is MVP, again, well, then why not Lamar Jackson, who was after him? Mahomes hasn't had an MVP season. And by the way, the word again wouldn't make sense when they said do it again, because Mahomes has never been an MVP more than once, and he has never won the Super Bowl more than once. So the word again is very confusing. So it only applied to Aaron Rodgers or Gronk being Super Bowl again. Okay. Holy shit. Tyree Vaughn renders unto Caesar $45. $45.
Yes, thank you.
That is going towards the trophy. And that is going to get your name higher up on the list. Is 45 a specific number? Is that for something? 45 was Michael Jordan's number when he wasn't 23. 45 is the target age that Tom Brady says he was going to retire. $45. 45 is how old I will be when this channel reaches 1 million subscribers. Thank you so much, Tyree. Appreciate it, man. Anything you type, so you didn't type a comment. So if I see, I'll try to make sure I'll see it and address it for you, buddy. Thank you so much. Donnie renders unto Caesar $50. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you so much. Take a pic 1313. Actually, need to get him an icon. I need to design something for Donnie. He deserves a badass icon. So
yes, yeah.
He says, actually, why don't you read this one? You're mentioned in it.
Okay. Nice hat, Milena. Thank you, Donnie. 2 years ago, I had half kidney removed because of cancer. They found some nodes in my lungs. No big deal. Just had a screen found more. Having a PET scan. I'm sad and scared. Hope I don't have lung cancer. Pray for me, VAS Nation.
Okay. Wow. You know what? I guess what I've got to say is I am tired of the fact that we can target a missile from outer space up the ass of a camel in the middle of the Sahara, but we can't cure cancer. So either we can, and people are lying about it to make money, or they just really don't put a lot of research and development into it. Donnie, we will absolutely absolutely be pulling for you, my friend. I'm really sorry to hear that. That freaking sucks.
Yeah. We've both dealt with that, and I'm sure every other family does. Or every family, somebody has it. So we know what it's like. But yeah, I told Donnie to actually we'll talk on the phone about it. Yeah, I want to talk to you. So, but we're all praying, of course.
Okay, yeah, Donnie, we're with you, buddy, man. And like she said, we'll talk soon. Um, damn. Salami Pizza says I heard Bucks ring ceremony is end of July. Um, yeah, so that'd be a perfect time around that time to hopefully land the trophy within the Tampa Bay organization. Hey, we have a heckler, Pickle Dick Rick. I'm certain I read that correctly, right? It does say Pickle Dick Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Dick Rick. Pickle Dick Rick.
I'll be right back.
Good day, Otiva me.
Just another little snap.
Ah, Resbino. So we got Pickle Dick Rick. I love hecklers. New ones actually, not the same bullshit all the time. Because if you're doing it on purpose, I'll know what you're doing on purpose. We got Pickle Dick Rick here. He says, imagine complaining about a Madden cover. LMFAO. Well, I wasn't complaining about the cover. Tom Brady's on the cover. Okay? So Tom Brady's on the cover. Tom Brady gracing himself on anything is amazing. Okay? Tom Brady could grace his image on your Pickle Dick, and it'd probably make it more proper and appropriate for anyone. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. Not complaining at all. I am just... what I do here and what I like to do here is we talk about things in a logical manner, in a rational manner, point out things that don't make much sense and try to put them together. So I am talking about their advertising campaign that doesn't fit with the cover. So that's what I'm pointing out. So if you want to take it as marketing strategy advice, that would make more sense. That's fine. That's cool. But complaining about the cover? No, not really. I just think if they want to be more accurate, you know what they should have done is, so they clearly wanted to go with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, right? So they could have done something even cooler. They could have called it Era of the Quarterbacks and made it look, had like give some kind of image or concept where the old and the young are meeting and they're merging together. That would have been awesome. That would have been cool. So it's more of a case of it doesn't make sense with the ad campaigns that were put and the logo that's put there. So, but thanks, man. So it gives me a chance to reply to something. So, Tiffany O, welcome. Darlene says, that is one line I'll always remember from Family Guy. I still got to watch that show. People keep telling me. Why cure cancer in short term if you can make a profit in the long run? You're very sad. That's exactly true.
Yeah.
Guys, remember, the whole world shut down over a cold. Do you really believe? Okay, a little more than a cold, but you get my sarcasm. Do you really believe that they're going to want to try to fix that? All right. Oh, this is interesting, actually. Okay? We just found out. So I was reading Forbes, trying to keep up with things that are going on, and discovered that the top 400 richest people in the world, top 400, okay, has profited $5 trillion total. Maybe it wasn't the top 400. It could have been bigger than that, but it was a lot. It was a big number. Something like 5 trillion profited more over the average than ever in history last year.
Yep.
Wait a minute. So the rest of us has our worst year. You know, actually, true.
Hello?
The rest of us has our worst year. Everyone's losing their jobs. But the richest people in the world not only keep their money, but they actually have record-breaking profits. And this is actually slides right into a situation last January. I don't mean this recent January. I mean January of 2020, where no one knew what this was or even heard much of it.
Yeah.
And I was on the laptop and you know, getting ready for bed, you know, like in the old days when a couple is getting ready for bed, they read books. Now we look at our phones and laptops and things. So I'm reading the laptop and I look over and I'm like, you know, something weird's going on. All these CEOs, these big CEOs and billionaires of these big companies are just stepping down left and right. Some are buying islands, some are living on yachts, and I was like, something's wrong. I said, remember? I go, I don't like this. Something strange is happening. I feel like something bad is coming. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't think of a virus or anything. I didn't know. I just knew something was not right. And I pointed it out.
Yes, you looked up at every...
Looked it up.
Yeah, all of
them.
People.
Interesting. Very interesting. Should we put on tinfoil hats? Or play the X-Files theme? Can we do that? I love a good conspiracy theory. You know I do. All right? Come on. I'm the guy who made Basement Butthurt about people theorizing that all Super Bowls are rigged. So you know I can't pass this one up. All right. Aussie man to start VAS for the W. Well, I hope they never rename the Lombardi Trophy. That would be completely absurd.
What do they want to do?
I don't want it to be renamed. Mike Alexander just subscribed. Welcome, citizen. I don't want it to be renamed at all. Not for Belichick, not for Brady. Of course, you probably wouldn't name the Lombardi Trophy after Brady anyway. You'd name the MVP trophy after Brady. The Super Bowl MVP trophy after Brady. That could work. But the Lombardi Trophy, no, I hope they never do that. But the Madden football game, no, they'll always keep the name Madden. It's his game. He started it, you know, so yeah, they won't change that. William, yes, absolutely. Bob Merck. Bob, nice to meet you, my friend. He sends a $40 super chat to the VonAllen Sports Empire. Thank you so much, man. And of course, that's going to go towards the MVP trophy and get your name on that list. He says, I'm a 63-year-old amputee who is wheelchair bound. Thank you for uplifting and knowledgeable show. Thank you for your uplifting and knowledgeable show to keep me company. My wife of 32 years passed away 5 years ago. Keep it up. Bob from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hell yeah, Bob. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that, man. Absolutely. I try my best to you know, stay on point and hopefully it's entertaining along the way. You know, we do this every Friday night and we talk a lot, and there's a lot, you know, talking for hours and hours, you know, with just aimlessly about different topics is not as easy as it seems. People don't realize. So it's good to have feedback from you guys, and it helps a lot. But yeah, that's crazy. What amputee was this military related or anything, or actually, you know what? I shouldn't have asked that. That's probably inappropriate. But yeah, thank you so much, man. And from Pennsylvania too. So who's your team? Is it Steelers, Eagles, or someone from outside? Thank you so much, dude. $40. It's awesome. Marcus, I wish I had the X-Files theme queued up right now. But you know what? Even if I did play it, they'd probably shut the stream down or interrupt it.
Niners is his team. Bob's team.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
49ers. We have another 49ers
yeah.
fan. Hell yeah. So you and Raphael get along really well.
Yeah.
See It Twice renders unto Caesar $5 and says, during the pandemic, 493 new billionaires were made, making a total of 2,755 in the world. Their combined estimated wealth increased from 8 trillion to 13.1 trillion.
Exactly that 5 trillion that you were talking about.
Disgusting.
Right? Yes.
Why? You telling me they didn't know? You telling me they didn't know? Come on, man.
Yeah, especially after what you read, and you told me last year.
They fucking knew. They fucking knew.
Weird. They all stepped down from those corporations, but anyway, we don't want to talk about this very much. It's upsetting.
Yeah. I do like talking about this stuff, but usually I reserve it for the end of the show. When, people aren't paying that much attention and the algorithm's not really giving a shit by then. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What's next? Coming up. So, next we've got Patriots training camp, and then, and that won't take long because there's not a whole lot to talk about there. And then we've got the Chris Sims list. Oh my God. All right. Freaking. Oh. Twinkle-toed little dipshit. Anyway. So what's been...
What does that even mean?
You had any... Did your parents have any children that lived? Yeah? I bet they regretted that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. Dude, Chris Sims, he was dressed like a 9-year-old boy when he was doing this quarterback ranking, okay? But we'll get to that.
Yeah, I bet. Let's see who can get those quotes.
See It Twice will know it, so
I know See It
that's
Twice
cheating.
will
See
know
It
it.
Twice, you can't say it.
You can't say it.
Because we all know that you know all movies. So
Yeah.
let somebody else try it.
Yeah.
All right. Patriots training camp. Now, I know it's not really that interesting right now, training camp and stuff, but I do have a good story I want to tell you. I think it's interesting and fun. And if I got anything from my time hanging around the Cardinals like an annoying dipshit, it was great experience. I got to see the ins and outs of how a team works. Got to know a few of them. Got to hang out with a few of them privately and things like that. Got some free shit. Anquan Bolden gave me a pair of custom-made Jordans that were made for him. And these things were freaking amazing.
I've seen them.
Yeah, and got some cool, authentic Cardinals jerseys and all kinds of equipment. All kinds of cool shit. But most of all, I think it was the experience and getting to learn a lot of things that you wouldn't get to learn in watching NFL Network or anything like that. There's just stuff that you can't see and they won't reveal.
Right.
But what this is in regards to is a video I saw of Cam Newton. And it was showing Cam Newton and Mac Jones, and it was Mac Jones and Cam Newton doing a quarterback drill. and it was raining. And of course, Bill Belichick loves weather because that's a great opportunity to coach your team and let them work through it. Because just like in war, you've got to simulate that stuff. So you keep doing it. Believe it or not, some teams don't practice when it's raining. They actually go inside a dome bubble instead of doing that. So not everyone does it. But anyway, the rain is inconsequential in this scenario probably. But people are ragging on Cam. Okay?
Yeah.
And it showed Mac doing pretty good. Cam was missing receivers. He was throwing darts. Now, what it looked like to me, okay, just from watching football drills, the overall drill looked like a lob drill. What a lob drill is when the quarterback throws it to a receiver, open over, and he's trying to make it high enough so any defender cannot get it, but his receiver can. Mm-hmm. So what you want is you want a good arc, but you want it trajectory, you want it to come straight down. Okay, so up, over, straight down. All right, it's very hard to do. It's actually really extremely difficult. But this is one of the best throws in the NFL if you can pull it off. That's what it looked like to me that they were working on. That's at least what Mac Jones was working on. So when Mac Jones would back up, he would just doop, doop, doop. All right. That looked good. He needs a little bit more power on them, or they'll be in the air too long, and good corners, good defensive backs are going to pick that shit off. But he's a rookie. And we don't know exactly to the extent of what they were trying to do exactly. But Cam was throwing darts, okay? And if you're doing a lob drill, that is really shitty, okay? So those balls are going to get picked off. But it wasn't just that he was throwing darts, he was throwing incompletions. So they were going in front of the guys, behind the guys, over the guys. I mean, it looked bad, right? It didn't look like Cam and Mac were doing the same thing at all. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, what's the point of this? The first point I want to say is that Cam is injured. So he has a hand injury, and we don't know exactly how bad it is, because you know how the Patriots are. They'll say one thing, leak out info, but we'll never know for sure. Okay? They hid Tom Brady's hand injury all the way until after the AFC Championship game, and then we find out there was a freaking hole in his hand, all right, the whole time. So, and they did a great job of hiding that. So this is the Patriots. They're not really going to give much of anything to anybody. So we just aren't completely in the dark on that, except that we know Cam messed up his hand. What is it, whatever. And this is not about defending him. And it's not about shitting on him. I just want to give you guys insight into training camp with the little knowledge I have. Okay, so I'm not claiming to be an NFL player or anything like that. But there was an instance in the Cardinals camp where Kurt Warner and Matt Leinart, and I believe there was another guy there. I can't remember his name. Was it Josh McCown? It might have been Josh. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But there's three quarterbacks there. But the two that of note were Kurt Warner and Matt Leinart. If you watch on film, like we saw the video of Cam and Mac. By the way, Mac is Cam spelled backwards.
Yeah.
It's weird. Okay. Yeah, weird. Does that mean that Mac is going to be the opposite of Cam in every way? I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah. to the video, it looks like they're running the same drill, right? Now, with Matt Leinart and Kurt Warner, it looked the same thing on film. It looked the same way. What you wouldn't have known, unless you were there, is that they were doing two completely different things. So on film, this is what it looked like. It looked like Kurt was struggling taking a shotgun snap. It looked like he was all over the place and fucking it up. And then once he got the ball, he just dinked it to the receiver just to get rid of it. Okay, so one would say, first, Kurt is having trouble handling the snap, and second, he must have an injury of some sort because he can't throw it farther than 5 yards. Because then when it shows Matt Leinart takes his snap perfectly. He has no struggles with the snap whatsoever, and he's throwing bombs down the field. Okay? Well, so what does that mean? Does that mean that Matt Leinart is having a better training camp than Kurt Warner? Well, if we put out a video like the one we put out with Cam and Mac, it would look like that, right? Here's what was really happening. Kurt Warner was having trouble fumbling the ball the last few seasons before that training camp. He was also trying out throwing gloves. He'd never used them. So what he was working on was not fumbling the snap, the shotgun snap. So when the snapper was sending him a shotgun snap, he was instructed to snap the ball in all messed up ways. Snap it up here, snap it there, snap it down, snap it this way. Screw it up to make Kurt work for it, to have to use the gloves, to have to adjust, and then take the ball and then get ready for his throwing motion, right? Or sit in the pocket or whatever.
Right.
There was even a point where they put in a long snapper to snap that shit at Kurt, putting spin on the ball, darting it at him as hard as they could. And if you know anything about long snappers, those are the guys who snap for the field goal kickers, okay, and the punters. Those guys, they're very strong dudes, and they snap that shit hard, like boom, they put a lot of spin on it, okay? It's a different type of snapping than what the center does for the quarterback. So they were doing all this, but from the camera angle, you can't see this. You can't tell. Now, when the guy would snap to Matt Leinart, Matt was working on something completely different. Matt wasn't having fumbling problems, wasn't trying to use a glove, so he was working on deep balls. So he was getting a total normal snap. Clean snap, backs up, throws it. There you go. Those two had completely different goals that day. Completely different.
Things are not always what they seem, right?
That's right. So I just want to say, keep that in mind when we see video coming out of training camp like that, guys.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what Cam was instructed to do.
And what was the purpose?
Tiffany Sabine just subscribed. Welcome, citizen. You don't know what he was instructed to do. You don't know what he's working on, what his limits are, and you don't know what Mac was told to do. So, and we didn't get to see, I don't think, or I haven't seen any film on what Clipboard Torque was working on, which is probably just how to hold a clipboard, although he's the goat of that anyway. And Jarrett Stidham, who I don't think will probably be on the team much longer, from what I hear. So, unfortunate. I like the guy. But anyway, I thought that might interest you guys to kind of know a little bit about how things go on there and how things work there. When I was doing kicking drills with Neil Rackers, something similar. So I was working on accuracy. So we was playing a game of horse. And a game of horse in basketball, as most of you guys know, a game of horse in basketball is you're shooting from anywhere, and then your opponent has to make the shot. You have to make the shot from anywhere. You get creative, right? And then the other guy, I don't know if they have this in Bulgaria. That's why I'm explaining it to you. But the game of horse. So the other guy follows, and if you don't get it right, you get a letter, and then the first guy with the full word is out, right?
Yeah.
So we played horse.
I don't remember that. I mean, I was. My mom was in the national team for basketball.
You probably played vodka instead of horse.
I'm saying, like, you mean in basketball, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, because my mom was in the national team of basketball when she was a young girl. When I was in high school, I was also started training for one of the major teams in basketball. But remember doing that.
Well, it was probably vodka.
It was probably vodka.
So instead of an H,
I liked whiskey.
Instead of
Sorry.
an H, you got a V. How about that? All right.
Yeah.
Vodka. So we were doing that for kickers, and for kickers it looks a lot different. So it's finete. For kickers, we would do weird shit. Okay. So at one point, Neil took the ball to the sidelines at a sharp angle to where the field goal is like really sharp, and the idea wasn't to make the field goal. The idea was to hit the right upright from that sharp angle. So he hit it, and then my job was to hit it. There were a few people there. I don't know who they were or why they were there, but they thought we kept missing, like we couldn't make the field goal. They said, they were laughing. They kept hitting the goalpost. Yeah, that was kind of the point, jackass. That was the whole purpose, was to hit the goalpost, not the field goal. Okay, so you can see how the
It's like you never know what they're
the
trying
bystander
to
does not know what you're working on. They just have no idea. So let's not get crazy about that footage. Preseason is going to tell us everything about Cam. Okay, it's going to tell us everything about Mac. That will let us know what's going on, because then they're going to have to do this under pressure, and they're going to have to do what they do best. Because I think the quarterback job for the New England Patriots is absolutely up for grabs. So anyway, enough of that. We also have Dante Hightower returned last week, of course, and then we have Stephon Gilmore holding out. Now, people are making a big deal because he didn't show up for training camp. Not really that big of a deal, considering that Stephon Gilmore is coming off of a surgery. He got injured, you guys remember, at the end of last year. You probably didn't notice because the Patriots sucked so bad you probably just threw a rock at your TV and didn't notice that Stephon Gilmore was out. But he was, and he had surgery. So him missing training camp could be chalked up to an extended rehab time. We just don't know. Until the Patriots start fining him, which they can fine him up to $96,000 or something like that. It's 90-something thousand. Until that happens, I'm going to say this is much ado about nothing. Until then. I know he wants a new contract because he's in his last year of his deal. He's only getting paid $7 million. Only. Yeah.
No,
well,
it's very bad.
I know. I feel for him. The struggle is real, guys.
Hey, but it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative. So a guy like him on the Patriots is worth much more than that. So he's either wanting a nice add-on to this year, like a little bonus added-on for this year, or a new contract, or to be traded, I'm assuming. So we'll see what happens with that. Just for the record, I want to call it now, just so you guys have it for posterity's sake and go back and look on this. If Stephon Gilmore is not a New England Patriot, he will not be heard from again. You guys know how we use this term system player?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a real term. Okay? It's a real term for other positions. And what that means is some guys, like there's system wide receivers, for example. The reason system doesn't work for a quarterback is because the quarterback is the system. The entire system is built for the quarterback. The quarterback is the one who disperses the system and puts it out there and gives it to everybody.
So the system is built based on his style, his
what
characteristics.
He is. Yes.
Instead of just, this is Patriots is a system, and let's plug in any quarterback and it will work. That's
exactly
what the main argument has been, right?
Right. You're exactly right. Very good. Yeah, there you're on fire tonight. Good job. But yes, that's exactly correct.
Yeah, because that's what they're trying to say.
So the quarterback is a system, and what you want to do is when you get a great quarterback, if you're a good coaching staff, which the Patriots are, you play to their players' strengths, and that's what they've always been good at. For example, we were never going to run a Lamar Jackson offense for Tom Brady. That's just stupid, okay? So if Cam's a starter, that is the kind of theme they're going to go with, and to whatever Cam's strengths are. So yeah, but with Stephon Gilmore, he absolutely is a thing called a system
player,
cornerback, system defensive back. For two reasons.
He is plugged in the system.
Right, for two reasons. One, Belichick is a master at defensive back. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's a master at coaching it. He's phenomenal. Second, he knew what Stephon Gilmore's strengths were and knew how to utilize them. And he also knew how to position guys around Gilmore to maximize that strength.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear the word utilize, I can't say.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
because
see it
idiocracy?
Idiocracy.
Utilize.
You gotta know that. You don't have to. It should have left it as a mystery. All right. Continue.
Utilize her. All right. Anyway. So, yeah. Stephon Gilmore is definitely that. And we know this from his time in Buffalo when Tom made him look like a little bitch. I like Gilmore. I like him a lot. I think he was Super Bowl MVP. I know we always have this argument, but I think he should have been MVP in Super Bowl 53. But he leaves New England, and I just don't think he's going to be a great player like we've seen him. Okay? That's just a prediction, okay? So he should stay in New England. He should just find a way to get a good deal worked out and stay at home, buddy. We don't want to lose you anyway. On the Patriots, Stephon Gilmore is worth $12 million, $13 million a year, or whatever he was getting paid. I think that was the going rate. Anywhere else, he's not worth that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. What did I just do with my hands and my finger? Milena said I'm not allowed to do that again. I'm like that Khabib Nurmagomedov UFC fighter guy who says, my mom said I can't fight anymore, so I'm going to go home. I hear my mom, I got to go to bed. I hear my mama, I got to leave the octagon. Okay? So I just heard Milena and she just said I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, some AI may kind of,
But what I was talking about to see it twice is, I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Brady has over 1,000 rushing yards. Thank you very much. He does. He is a 1,000-yard rushing quarterback. Most of which was done from 1-yard quarterback sneaks, which is very impressive. That's a lot of quarterback sneaks. And he actually should have more yards, but all those years of victory formation and all of those wins. Victory formation, of course, when you kneel the ball backwards. So you lose a yard. So that counts against the quarterback as a negative rushing yard. So if he hadn't had all those, and if you notice the last 3 or 4 years, I think it's around maybe 3 years, when he's in victory formation now, he falls forward.
So is it fair to say then victory is costing him
Victory is costing him from being like Michael Vick.
Like the greatest talented.
The most talented rushing quarterback ever.
I think I'm moving into the next section with Chris Sims here with that.
You're starting to sound like.
Are we transitioning into that section?
Yes, but you're starting to sound like Chris Sims already. I mean, you're saying
just making fun
the greatest and all that.
The most accomplished.
Most talented.
Most accomplished. But not the greatest. One of the GOATs, but not the GOAT.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Can someone answer that for me? What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean when someone says, he's the most accomplished, but not the greatest?
Yeah. And I love how he backtracks every time, or starts something insulting, and putting down Brady or someone else, and then he ends up the paragraph with a conclusion. But I like him very much. He's really the best. He's really one of the most. But before that, it's so douchey.
Chris Sims is a douche.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, I just want to say, Chris Sims So I guess now we're in the Chris Sims segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Sims actually said, I'm not going to call him the greatest. He's the most accomplished. He has the best resume, but not the greatest.
Hello?
Hear me call him the greatest. You can actually go and listen to the episode, which I don't really want to promote it, but on Chris Sims' list of quarterbacks. And I don't know if you want to know now. I mean, everybody probably knows Brady is number 10. And there he says that we will never hear him say that Tom is the greatest. So it's kind of like a thing that he does, a position that he's taken. No matter what, Tom Brady can win another 50 Super Bowls or achieve, I don't care what. We will never hear him say that.
No.
Just because he decided that, or because he has to.
Right. So why do I pick on Chris Sims, and not Rob Parker? He who shall not be named. But even that term is no longer valuable for him because he's just so stupid. But why do I not pick on Rob Parker? Why do I not pick on Skip Bayless and people like that? Because I don't pick on mentally deficient idiots. Okay? I only pick on people who know better. So I only pick fights. You know how they say pick on somebody your own size. Okay? Well, when it comes to debate and thinking and logic and all those things, I'm going to pick on somebody my own size, which means somebody I know knows better, who is smart enough to know better, and is being a complete douche out of spite, okay, on purpose, not because they're just so dumb that they believe the crap they're saying, okay? So I don't pick on those people, but I do pick on Chris Sims. You know why?
Because he says a lot of damn
He's a douchebag.
stupid things.
I think he's a damn douchebag.
Yeah. And because the only reason he's there...
Because he thought he was going to be the next Peyton Manning, that's why.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, so he says that Ryan Tannehill, and I believe Justin Herbert, well, he's more talented than Tom Brady. That word.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Talented.
That's his main thing. Talented.
You ever... Max Kellerman does the word talented too.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman's another guy I pick on. Max knows what he's doing and he shouldn't be. So I pick on those guys. But the word talented. Now, when he says words like this, like trigger words like this, I picture Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. You guys remember, a lot of you guys are my age, when we were children, there was the Pee Wee Herman show, and he'd have the word of the day, and it would spit out this little piece of paper, and it had the word of the day, and then during the whole show, anytime that word is mentioned, everyone celebrates. Okay? So if the word of the day was talent, and someone walked in and said, "Hey, Pee Wee Herman, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm juggling," or whatever the fuck. And he goes, "Oh, you're very talented at that." And everyone goes, "Ah, talented! Ah!" Okay? So they would do this all day long. Now, the purpose was to teach children different words each day to improve our vocabulary and all that stuff, right?
And the word was talented?
This was before. This was before they were complete drag queens and just in the closet drag queens.
Yeah.
So, boy, ignorance is bliss, isn't it? Especially for a child. They took that away. Anyway, it was the word of the day. And this is the word of the day. This is what I feel like Chris Sims should have, like a little Pee Wee Herman celebration every time he says the word talented. Talented is a complete cop-out. It is complete and utter bullshit. It's nonsense. It is a word that cannot be defined in any measurable category at all. There is nothing. There is no fucking ruler. There is no measurement stick. There is nothing. Okay? Not even NASA has any device that can say, oh, that guy's more talented than the other guy. Why is it used so much? It's used so much because it can't be proven wrong.
Talented.
I
mean,
talented.
You know how many talented people there are? You know how many talented, like, painters there are? And people who can draw or sing something or whatever. Oh, you're very talented. You're very talented. I didn't know that was the ultimate measurement. When it becomes important is when you bring that talent or skills and training and a whole bunch of things into achievement and you actually hit the goal. And what is the ultimate goal? I'm going to keep repeating this. Winning.
She's right, you know. All I do is win, no matter what.
Can you believe that in this episode, whatever episode of Chris Sims, he actually said that if Tom Brady didn't, it sounded like if he didn't score, for example, throw a winning ball to whatever, for a touchdown, he would have actually, if you kept going in that direction, he could have actually made more yards or whatever stats. So he was suggesting, again, stat boring. That's our favorite term here. We all know what that is. And he was actually saying this aloud on national TV. I was like, really? So these are the criteria that he's using. Some kind of, it's just the way he talks. It's so casually. You know, I had this little piece of paper and jotted down some other things about it. I thought maybe this quarterback will, I think I'm going to put him, I'll give him a little more. So I'll take a little bit. I think, yeah, let's push him up here, up the list. It doesn't seem like he has any tangible criteria to put there. It doesn't seem like he's, like, using any, I mean, this got to be also science. It's not just a torque test. It seems like it's
torque is also it's not a made up thing either. Like, it's not as bad, but it is kind of like that. But by the way, guys, can we not give a hand to Milena? She has come a long way. Okay, this girl has only been watching football and learning about football for a few years. Okay, because of where she's from, they don't even have American football here.
No, they make fun of it.
But yeah, we make fun of soccer, so it's fair.
Well, they think it's
okay?
like rugby, like everybody's just pushing each other.
But I'm just saying, though, okay? You make
no
make more fucking sense than all of the bitches except for Joy Taylor, because Joy Taylor's awesome.
I'm sorry, I think it make more sense than the word, like, Chris Sims,
but seriously,
I think,
okay, like Molly Karam, for example, she's still a moron. And she's married to a former NBA player, and she's been on that show every single day. Well, I guess, actually, I have to defend her here.
No.
She's been listening to morons.
Chris Sims, compare me to Chris Sims. So why even go with the girls? You know, Chris Sims half of the time was talking on one of his whatever long preview show of his MVP list. He spent his first several minutes discussing the muscles and the looks and the butt and the whatever of the players in the locker room. I think I can do that. I mean, really?
Well, it'd be more appropriate if you did it.
It'd be more appropriate if I did, I think. If I talked about this big muscle, like it's big and hard and whatever he was talking about. No, he really was saying it's very thick and very, things like that. But it's not just a little comment. It was like a whole discussion with whoever the other person was on the show. I was like, whoa, is this how they really talk?
So he kept repeating the word thick?
And it kept talking about specimen in the locker room. I got a little confused there, but I think you clarified that. It may not have been what I thought.
Yeah. I don't think.
But still,
I had to defend Chris there. I don't think that's what he meant.
He used that word specimen several times. I was like, locker room specimen,
No.
What are you talking about?
No.
Never mind.
No.
It was a little too much for me, I tell you.
Okay, he's the guy who has a show called Chris Sims Unbuttoned.
Yeah,
and we
that's what it was.
And we know it's not
unbuttoned toy.
It's an unbuttoned
pants. You don't have to say it, it's obvious. He said unbuttoned
Unbuttoned.
Yeah, whatever.
Unbuttoned.
But
Okay.
just those discussions about this guy's muscles and stuff was a little too much. I was a little confused there. But okay, maybe it's common, but it's weird.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
regarding Chris Sims, guys, he's got a chink in his armor, okay? And I found it. It's Twitter, okay? So on Twitter, he will respond to people who talk shit to him. So he'll respond, and he'll respond from anybody with 5 followers all the way to and up. It doesn't matter, right? So you just got to hit him at the right time and make sure he sees it. And how he sees it is not by tweeting to him directly, because that never shows up. You need to reply to one of his tweets, and then he'll read the comments that's under his tweets. But you guys go out there, and I do it too, and you keep constantly bugging this guy, telling him to debate VonAllen, debate VonAllen.
Sports,
He knows who I am because he used a burner account once on YouTube to try to defend himself against all of my Chris Sims videos. I've got 3, in fact.
It was too obvious.
It was painfully obvious. I said, dude, stop, right?
Hiding.
But yeah, so he knows. Now, if you pick at his ego enough, he might just give in. You don't know. Maybe he does. Now, it's a win-win, okay? So either he gives in and will do it, which I highly doubt, because why would he risk his cushy job at NBC by looking like a douche, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, number 2, if he will block you. And if he blocks you, you've given me a video. So, I mean, if I could take a Chris Sims got blocked because of my followers, that is an epic video right there, okay?
Yeah.
So either way, it's a win-win. And I win no matter what, because even if he takes the debate, which he would be stupid to take it, because considering his position, it'd be completely dumb, but I win no matter what. So I get on there and I beat his ass down, I win. But if I get on there and he beats my ass, I still win. Because I got on there and the entire country saw me. So I love that position, actually.
Yeah.
So come on, guys. Get out there. Get on Twitter. Fuck with him. All right?
Yeah.
Now, don't be vulgar. Don't.
Just when you say
don't
fuck
threaten
with
him or anything. Nothing like that. When I say fuck with him, you know what? Just use VonAllen Sports styles that we go with. We go with logic. We go with facts, and you add a little flair there. But go after this fucker, okay? And he's gonna have to see it eventually. And use the hashtag. So hashtag Sims versus VonAllen. So let's get that. Always use that hashtag, and that hashtag will start to turn up.
Do it like this.
So yeah, I'll type it right now.
Write it here. That would be interesting. Yeah, we should probably. I'll get on that as well.
Now, Nick Wright, I'd like to go after too, Brian. But he's even a bigger pussy than Chris. So.
Yeah.
Now, when I say pussy, I mean figuratively, but in the sense of physically weak, Nick Wright is a gigantic pansy ass. Okay? I'm not going to say that about Chris. I don't think Chris is a physical pansy. Chris is a huge dude. He's 6'4", probably 6'5", probably like 205. I'm assuming something like that. 210 probably. He was an NFL quarterback. He took a lot of hits. Had his spleen ruptured. Probably had how many concussions? God knows what. Okay, so this guy's not a pussy. All right. But Nick Wright is. And I can't stand this guy. Okay, I cannot stand him. And with Nick Wright, it's not just about sports. There's a little personal thing going on there. But yeah, I don't like the guy either. But with Chris Sims, it's sports related, and that's all. So.
Yeah, it's douchiness related.
Yeah.
It's just every other thing he says is unbelievable. It's illogical.
Illogical?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
So here's what's wrong with that, Milena. Chris knows better. Okay?
Here, yeah.
He knows better more than most analysts there are. So there's something I want to explain to you guys, and I want you to use this when you get in debates with idiots. All right? Well, that's probably goes without saying, because if they don't think Brady's the GOAT, they're probably not too smart. Unless they're arguing for Montana, which I can see why they would feel that way. But anybody else is just ridiculous. Okay, so saying Aaron Rodgers or whatever is just ridiculous. Rodgers is not even the greatest Packers quarterback, so yeah, that's not even a case right now. But if you are arguing forever and ever, if you guys are arguing with someone, I just want you to point out that they keep bringing up things like talented. So let's talk about talented, okay? Here's how you turn that around. All right, guys? So I'm going to give you guys some debating pointers here.
Yeah.
What you want to do in a debate is that if you don't have exact numbers, or if you get caught in a situation where you can't remember a fact, that's going to happen. Okay, so first of all, when you're debating and you're angry or you're intense or something, your brain can just kind of, and you might forget something. And we all know if you forget facts and you even slip up a little bit, someone jumps on you like a dog in heat, right? So what you want to do is you want to take their own stupidity and just use basic rationale and logic to throw it in their face. And what some of these idiots are going to do is they're going to start talking about things that are intangible, all right? Like talent. All right. So how would you turn that talent thing around on their asses? It's very simple. What they'll do is say, Tom Brady's not the GOAT, okay? They'll say Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT because Aaron Rodgers is doing things that Tom Brady can't do. Okay. So, needless to say, you've already spoken Tom Brady's resume and you've given all the facts you need. And of course, they've ignored them. And because you wouldn't have got to this point by then if they hadn't already ignored them. And they're going to say rings don't matter, and then of course you're going to fight back and saying, well, even without the rings, he still is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And on and on and on, right? What you say back is the following: if Aaron Rodgers is so physically gifted, more gifted than Tom Brady, if he is so much more talented as you say, that means Brady's level of difficulty is even greater. Okay? So this means that Aaron Rodgers, who was born with the natural ability to be more talented,
given by God or whatever.
Gifted by God, where he's naturally can run better, naturally is physically better. Okay?
He's got the bigger thighs.
Then that means his level of difficulty is easier for him to be a great quarterback. Which means that Tom Brady had to make up for that in skill.
Harder.
And work ethic. And being really fucking smart.
Yeah.
Okay?
So he deserves more respect.
So you just switch it.
Yeah.
So you just switch it. And just like that, you win. Okay? Yeah. And you can use this on other sports too. It works in basketball. In fact, it works very good in the Kobe Bryant, LeBron James argument. Mm-hmm. So if you want to change it, if you want to like try to say, oh no, Kobe Bryant is greater than LeBron James, and they'll say, oh well, LeBron James is 6'8", 6'9", he's a physical specimen. See, there's that word, specimen. All right, ding ding ding,
ding ding ding,
specimen. He would like to check out. He'd like to check out LeBron's
like,
specimen.
What kind of specimen are you talking about?
He wants to have his baby, basically. So, anyway, They say, well, LeBron James, he's a physical specimen and all that stuff. He's get more gifted and he can slam and he's physical, blah, blah, and all this stuff. Okay, so what this means is that LeBron James, with being a physical specimen and bouncing around to all these teams and making all-star teams all the time, still did not surpass Kobe Bryant's 5 rings.
Yes.
Okay, so Kobe did it while being inferior physically. So whose level of difficulty is greater, Kobe's or LeBron's? Someone who is naturally born with the gift to run people over, who is naturally bigger than everyone else. Imagine if Kobe Bryant was 6'8", 6'9", and was built like LeBron James. You see what I mean? So whose level of difficulty is now greater?
Yeah.
It works on anything.
It's
actually.
like if you have Hulk, right, and a little guy, and if Hulk beats little guy, you're like, oh, okay, he's stronger, bigger,
who gives a
whatever,
shit?
more talent, more gifted. But then you have a little guy, kicks, karates, taekwondo, whatever,
Like Bruce Lee's
and
ass?
outsmarts Bruce Lee's that Hulk. You're like, whoa. So why isn't Chris Sims doing that?
Yeah, so.
Because preconceived notion, set the rule. He says, you will never hear me say that Tom Brady is the greatest.
It's not just that.
Just never will hear me
It's
say
not,
that.
okay.
No matter what Tom does.
But it's personal
Yeah.
with him.
So,
Okay, so here's why it's personal, guys. Chris.
He loses me at that point.
Chris was supposed to be the next great quarterback, okay? And to be honest here, he should have been, right? So, what's one thing that the NFL loves? That word pedigree. Pedigree, right?
Ooh.
Pedigree means that Daddy is a great player, or you come from a long line of football players or great athletes, and you've got the pedigree. Okay?
Yeah. Like
we saw Peyton Manning, the son of Archie Manning, and then we saw Eli coming up, and so you've got Chris Sims, the son of Super Bowl MVP, Giants quarterback great Phil Simms. Okay. So one would assume that Chris Sims has every
opportunity,
everything afforded to him. Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, he's physically gifted, meaning he's big,
He was
tall,
born
strong. Okay.
Big, tall, strong. Yeah.
He's got all that. All you would need to be a great quarterback. Then he grows up from the very time he's a baby, watching his dad perform as an NFL quarterback, watching his dad's every move, everything he does, watching him win, hang out with Hall of Famers, being around great coaches like Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. All right? He got all that. The best training you can imagine. And not just the best training from outsiders, but his own father.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's nothing that he didn't have. There's nothing.
Excuses.
And he goes to college.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the biggest deal, right? And everyone thinks he's the next Peyton Manning, but he's not. So he goes to Texas. Yeah. He didn't even come close to being that. And then we know his NFL career was shit. So who drafted him? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
And let's not forget the Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 2002 champions. So, not only was he drafted by a Super Bowl team, hell yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah, plugged in
yes,
there.
Plug my ass in there right now. Not only that, but who is his head coach, quarterback guru, John Gruden?
Okay.
Dude, you couldn't be in a better position.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, cause I was listening to what he was saying about Tom Brady, and basically he was saying that what if you just switch the players? So if you put Patrick Mahomes in Tampa Bay, win Super Bowl. Wasn't he plugged in like that in Tampa Bay?
Even worse.
What do you do? Because apparently that was a winning team when he was
okay,
there.
well that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so Chris was drafted to a Super Bowl team and couldn't lead them anywhere except into the fucking toilet. Okay?
Figuratively.
Tom Brady, I assume they think that mean figuratively.
Like, you gotta say that for the AI.
Oh yeah, for the artificial intelligence. I don't think they give a shit about that. Okay, so anyway, you're messing up my train of thought. All right.
Sorry.
So, focus. So Chris Sims was drafted to a Super Bowl team and couldn't make that work. The best possible situation you could be in for a quarterback. He's got all the training, he's all prepared, goes there, and fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady goes as a 43-year-old man, COVID, no training camp, no preseason, brand new system, brand new place, team. Everything. Yeah. And then wins the Super Bowl in his first year when everybody said he was done, including Chris Sims. And let's not forget that Tom had no pedigree. Tom defied everything that every scout and every person possible believed that a quarterback should be or could be. Tom Brady is a constant reminder to Chris Sims that he is a fucking failure. Not only is he a failure, but it reminds him that he is a catastrophic failure. And why is he a catastrophic failure? Because your father accomplished more than Peyton and Eli's dad, Archie Manning. All right?
Yeah.
So even though that technically shouldn't count, there's a family pride, a family ego thing that's at stake there. And even the mouth breathing moron Eli Manning came up with 2 fucking Super Bowls, and Chris Sims couldn't even get his team to winning playoff games. Also, Chris Sims hates on every quarterback from that generation, his era. When Drew Brees was playing, he hated on Drew. He put Drew at like ranked some shitty, disrespectful rank. Mm. He pissed on Phillip Rivers. Pissed on Kurt Warner's legacy. Got in an argument with Kurt Warner when Kurt Warner said, Sims, you're a fucking idiot. All right?
Literally.
And Chris Sims is like, what do you do? What do you know? What do you know?
I know something.
Hello?
Hello?
That's Kurt fucking Warner, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, your dad's not even in the Hall of Fame. He is. So,
yeah.
Like, shut up, you know? But, that's what this guy does. And he has this bias against that era. It's a constant reminder that he's a failure. And he is a failure, okay? And no, you don't need to be successful to know how to talk at quarterback, to know how to talk about quarterbacks. That's not what that means. You just need to be honest and be willing to admit something that is painfully obvious to everyone, to facts, to history, and you aren't willing to admit that, and that's what makes him wrong, and that's what makes him so pathetic, is that he knows better. And that's my problem with him. And it doesn't mean, because Eli won 2 Super Bowls, that Eli would be good at analysis. Eli might suck, because there's a lot of times where players, they kind of know how to be a player, and they kind of know, and it's instinctual, but conveying that to the general public and explaining it sometimes isn't the same thing. You know, there are a lot of great sports analysts throughout history who never played sports or even played sports professionally or anything like that, but they're good at analysis, and they're good at what they see and explaining that. So no, you don't have to be a professional athlete to do that. And also, there would be no women who could do that because no woman has ever played NFL football or
Right.
NBA basketball. So you get the point.
Mm.
But when you are a guy with his history and what his upbringing, you expect more out of them. Okay? I'm not surprised when Nick Wright says something completely idiotic because he is a Patrick Mahomes fanboy. Okay? And he's a LeBron James fanboy. All right? So he won't ever admit anything that matters when it comes to things like that. Okay? Which is against their interest. Okay, I get it. He's an idiot. But what's Chris Sims' excuse? And see, that's what makes it so bad. That's what pisses me off so much is that he knows better. He knows he's too smart for that. He's not an idiot. He's not a dumbass. I call him that jokingly, of course, but he's not. He knows better, and that is why he's a target of mine. Mm. Because what he's doing is complete bullshit. It is complete butthurt. It's basement butthurt. That's what that is. And it's sad. It really is. He's only got his job because his last name's Sims. Let's get that straight right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Dude, the dude got a job with NBC, one of the most high-profile sports companies out there. That's a big job. That's bigger than ESPN. Okay? So yeah, even Dan Orlovsky can get his dumbass on ESPN because of course they can pay him like $30,000 a year and he'll do it, right? Okay, great. But to get a job at NBC hosts Sunday Night Football. It's the biggest football night of the week. The highest profile night of the week. And he gets a job with those guys. He gets to sit there with Rodney Harrison and Tony Dungy, who both have no business being up there either. But the point is, he gets to be up there. And that's a
yes.
worldwide audience, actually.
Mm.
And it's just disgusting because you know this is nepotism all the way. So he has to be held accountable more so than a bunch of idiots on Undisputed and First Take spewing a bunch of nonsense that writers probably have prepared for them. And that's why I take such offense to Chris Sims. Fucking douche. Trying to do a Jedi mind trick. Hopefully it'll reach out and make them watch the video, turn it on. And they'll say, let's do it, man. I tell you what, if he accepted a challenge like that, I would have the most respect for him than any other journalist in America. Any. For him to take a challenge like that, to put his ass on the line.
Yeah. Let him show some bravery. Like, isn't it interesting? You listened to him, right? During this episode of ranking Tom Brady number 10.
Okay.
During this episode, he was saying that one of the things he doesn't like and the weaknesses that Brady has, and tell me what you think about that, is that Brady is too, like, well, besides him panicking, he actually used the word panicking. I don't recall seeing Brady panicking. Like, okay. Besides that, he said he was not, in a way, he was protecting himself too much. Like, he has to take more risk, he was saying. He has to take more risk. And actually throw some interceptions, he says, because when you throw interceptions, it's a good thing because you're taking risk. Because this game is about risk and it's about like bravery and torque apparently that we didn't know about. It's not about calculated movements, intelligence, throwing precisely or anything so you can actually hit the target. No. It's about taking a risk and just mixing it up a little. So watch. I guess I'm promoting this episode a lot, right? But But that's exactly what he was saying there. I was like, what?
Guys, is that not word for word what I said about Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago? Holy shit! He really said that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna have to rewatch it. I'll play it for you. I made sure I watched it twice.
Is that not exactly what I accused Aaron Rodgers of 2 years ago?
It's like, I know he's 43, he needs to protect himself, but mix it up a little. And he even used some kind of silly expression. I forgot what it was. Like, risk a biscuit or whatever.
Risk it or no?
No.
That's Bruce Arians' slogan. So that is no risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, that exactly.
Yeah.
But that's like,
Okay.
That was interesting.
Wow. Where's the list? See It Twice posted this list at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Let me find it here.
I can get to it now.
What the hell? What, did it just disappear?
Yeah, it disappears if it's too early in the show.
I just need the top 10, that's all.
See It Twice, can you repost this?
Why would it disappear?
I don't know. It just doesn't let you go back.
Oh, wait. I found it.
I think for you it does not.
For me it does. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
We got it.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't have it. I don't think he posted the final 10.
Yeah, we want the final 10.
No, he stopped posting after Tom. Yeah, after he got to 10, he stopped posting.
Yeah, and while you're looking, that was interesting also how he said, I'm going to put him at 10, but there are other 9 quarterbacks that apparently...
That's what I'm getting to. I just...
Yeah.
I need to know the final 10.
The final 10. So we need the list of Chris Sims's
apologies.
Top 10 quarterbacks.
I should have prepared this before I started.
Find it.
I don't know why I didn't. But he's got Carson Wentz at 18. He's got Joe Burrow at 17. Kirk Cousins 16. Matt Ryan 15. Derek Carr at 14. Baker Mayfield at 13. Ryan Tannehill at 12. The guy who is more talented than Tom Brady. Justin Herbert at 11. And then Tom Brady at 10.
Yeah. Like, really. And,
you got it?
He's like, no. He's like...
I need it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know where. I have to find it.
Okay, while I'm waiting on that, William Arnold says, I would love to see a debate between you and Chris Sims live. Oh my God, it'd be so much fun. I'm telling you what, if he accepts something like that, I will put out a video saying, this dude has bigger balls and more integrity than any journalist in the United States, because no major high-profile person on TV like that, with a job like that, would ever have the balls to engage in something like that. It just wouldn't happen. So just by accepting it, in my opinion, he would win, of course. He wins, at least in that aspect. But damn, man, if he agreed to a debate, you guys, do you have any idea the preparation for that debate I will undertake? I mean, I will know everything. I will know Tom Brady's blood type, okay? I will know what Aaron Rodgers eats every Sunday morning for breakfast. I'm telling you, it would be crazy. It'd be awesome. So if he can resist that onslaught, then he's the man. So. And you just never know. Some people thrive under pressure. I know he didn't thrive under pressure when he was in the NFL, but hey, normally I wouldn't talk shit about any quarterback who underperformed like that, but not only his pedigree gave him every opportunity in the world and any chances he wanted at any college he wanted, but he sets and pass judgment on the greatest of all time, so he leaves himself open to scrutiny. Don't you agree? All right. Okay, so let's find this fucker. No, I don't want to watch your GD video, you little asshole.
Does that make sense? Zach Wilson first?
No, they just keep posting the damn video everywhere.
I know. That's
I don't want the video. I just want a text layout of the damn quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to find, but
Jesus, come on.
it's the draft quarterback rankings. No.
It's fucking ridiculous. All right, whatever. So we can take a guess on a lot of them. All right. So we know that Dak Prescott obviously is in that top ahead of Brady. I think, if I remember correctly, Dak Prescott was number 9. Why? Why? Celtics Nation says Kyler Murray was at number 7. Football, baby.
Yes, football, baby.
Why? How?
He's got more talent.
So he said that, and his partner, and you keep looking, Milena, don't listen to me. So he said to his partner that his top 10 are guys in order that he thinks could take average teams and take them to a Super Bowl or something along those lines. And he thinks there's 9 other guys that could take an average team and make them a Super Bowl contender. Ahead of Tom Brady.
Yes. He thinks that. Right. He thinks that if you put, an average team, you plug in each one.
Okay. Let's start with number 9. Dak Prescott. All right? When Tom was looking for teams, one of the teams that we wanted Tom to possibly go to was the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay? Why? Because we thought that would be very interesting. We thought it would be, okay, so it's Dallas, it's a big-time Cowboys team, it's a legacy team. He was a big 49ers fan growing up, so they were a big rival of the 49ers, so that could be very entertaining. So we were just thinking about, the whole possibilities of that. If you had put Tom on Dallas with that offense, with Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl winning coach, a guy who had a ton of winning seasons, a guy who revitalized Brett Favre's career, brought Brett Favre back, okay, from what looked like Brett Favre's waning career. The same guy who, if it wasn't for him, Aaron Rodgers would be nothing right now, because Aaron Rodgers, when he came into the league, his footwork and his mechanics were complete dog shit. And Mike McCarthy fixed them, corrected them. Mike McCarthy comes from the old 49ers. Okay, so he knows quarterbacks. He knows offense. Now, would they have had to have gotten some better pieces on defense? Sure. But we saw what Tom did and the influence he had on them. Tampa Bay's defense wasn't exactly the 2007 Giants or the 2000 Ravens sitting there lighting up everybody, all right, the last few years. They were okay. They weren't bad. They were pretty good, right? So there was something there. But let's not pretend that this was some kind of all-star team. Not yet, or they weren't playing like one anyway. It's very perfectly reasonable to believe that Tom would have taken the Dallas Cowboys extremely far. Maybe not the Super Bowl, who knows? I mean, because saying that about anybody is kind of crazy, right? But we'll say very likely. But Chris Sims thinks that Dak Prescott is more likely to take a Dallas Cowboys team to the Super Bowl than Tom Brady, even though Dak Prescott has never done that, ever. Well, I know he got hurt last year, but hey, not getting hurt is part of it. Not getting hurt is part of how you actually achieve shit. So yeah, you want to avoid injury, okay? Yeah, that's an endorsement for TB12. They need to sponsor my ass, by the way. Anyway.
They do.
I'm going to wait till we get a little more subscribers before we approach them.
Yes.
I want them to take us seriously. So, but anyway. Dak Prescott was having some of his best seasons, and that team was together, and they were just clicking on and every level, and it still didn't get anything done. They didn't even make the championship game. But somehow Dak can take just an average team and do that. Okay, Kyler Murray. Do you guys really believe that the Cardinals missed the playoffs if Tom Brady is their quarterback this last season? What'd they go, 7-9? What was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers record before Tom arrived? It was like 7-9. He comes in, they win the Super Bowl. Cardinals offense, Cardinals defense. Keep this in mind, Tom would have been given DeAndre Hopkins. On defense, they've got a very good group of guys, including Tom's old teammate, Chandler Jones. You really believe that with Tom Brady adding Gronk and LeGarrette Blount, Leonard Fournette, and Antonio Brown, and they don't get somewhere? Again, maybe not Super Bowl, but you don't think that's a possibility, a very good possibility? I know they don't miss the playoffs, I know that. Guaranteed. I know they win that division. So that's 2 guys down. Yeah, Kyler making the Pro Bowl is extremely bizarre, and it also shows you the Pro Bowl is dumb as shit. And why in the world would you vote or hold any kind of contest for the Pro Bowl until the season's over? Why would you do it early? I don't get it. I've never understood it, actually. The Pro Bowl isn't until the week before the Super Bowl, so you do it after week 17, and you've got 3 weeks to name the team and then get them prepared and all arrangements that they need and all that stuff. That's plenty of time. So the Pro Bowl is complete dog shit. Okay? Here's what I care about. I care about all pros. Okay? I like second team all pros too. Those are valuable. Make no mistake, those are valuable. And of course, I like MVPs. I like Super Bowl MVPs. I like championship rings. That's all good stuff. Pro Bowls, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I do not care. It makes no... It just means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's 2 guys ahead of Tom. Who else? Russell Wilson. Okay, so Russell Wilson is at 5.
And Lamar Jack... did you talk about Lamar?
Not yet, because I don't know what his number is.
Okay, so number 6 is Lamar.
Okay.
5, Russell.
Okay.
You have 7, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, 8, 9, Dak. But the other ones I cannot find.
I think I can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
Just by process of elimination. So let's talk about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was getting sacked a lot. What was one of the reasons why he got sacked a lot? Got sacked a lot because the offensive line was a bit shaky. Well, Seattle's been decimating that offensive line for a long time, including shipping out their best offensive lineman for a shitty tight end. Okay, so that was dumb, but that clearly shows you where their mind is at. But what do you do when you have a shitty offensive line? You get rid of the ball fast, you make better decisions, and you also bring along Gronk to help out with the tight end situation. Yes, their defense was shit. Again, it's a Dallas situation. But look who Tom gets to throw to. So again, another situation where it's good offense, a little shady defense. Seattle, of course, wins the division. I have no problem, by the way, with Russell being in the top 5. So this isn't about Russell in this aspect. I'm just saying Chris Sims said that these guys could do with any average team what Tom can't do. Or Tom couldn't. Those guys could do it before him. But yet I'm pointing out that Tom could take all of these teams that these guys actually play for, that they actually didn't do anything with, and Tom could have. Or at least had a good chance. So that's Seattle. Matthew fucking Stafford.
Yeah.
Did you say that Matthew Stafford is ahead of Tom Brady? Please tell me that's not true.
Number 8. He's got more talent.
What am I supposed to do with that?
I mean, do we live in some kind of alternate universe where things are like upside down? Because are we in Stranger Things maybe?
What is everybody's hard on for Matthew Stafford? All right? Listen. He's got a big arm. Okay? In the past, he's done some really cool clutch shit, at the end of the fourth quarter. But all of a sudden, now that he's going to the Rams, it's like
he's a god.
It's fucking Dan Marino going over there, okay? We know nothing about how this is going to work. Nothing. Because Stafford has proved nothing. Oh, but he was on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, he had Megatron. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Give Tom Brady Megatron, please. Thank you very much. This Matthew Stafford thing is baffling. It's like the moment he gets traded to the Rams, all of a sudden this guy's Dan Marino. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What the fuck? Okay? I like Matthew Stafford, okay? Good dude, cool player. I like watching him play. He does some exciting shit. He's a Dallas kid, so I got nothing but love for him. Fellow Southerner, that's cool, okay? But what the fuck, man? Again, I told you guys, I'm realistic. Even if I have a bias, even if I like the guy. But let's be real here. That is just plain idiotic. People are confusing their liking of somebody. Why do people like Matt Stafford? Let's be honest. Why do most people like Matthew Stafford? Because he's on a shitty team. He was on the Detroit Lions forever. He's not a threat to anyone. Who is going to catch hate being the quarterback of the worst organization probably in NFL history? That's why he's not hated. That's why he has no detractors. And that's why he's loved. He's not a threat to anyone. When you start winning and you become a threat to people, that's when they start hating on you.
Yeah.
So let's send Tom Brady to the Rams instead of Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford is a veteran quarterback, okay? He's not a spring chicken either. So Matthew Stafford goes to the Rams, and all of a sudden he's one of the top 10 top quarterbacks. But Tom Brady went to the Rams. That's not possible according to Chris Sims. Okay? So what the fuck? Super Bowl 53. Super Bowl 53. Are you guys ready for this? The Rams have Tom Brady. The Patriots have Matthew Stafford. Who wins that fucking game?
What do you guys think?
Come on.
Yeah.
Notice I didn't even say Jared Goff. I'm talking Matthew Stafford because they're the one that putting him on a pedestal. So how the fuck can you say anyway, okay, so Matthew Stafford. Lamar Jackson. All right, so here's what I'm going to say about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Number 6.
The Ravens are the weirdest, most bizarre organization in sports. They are fucking strange. They are weird. They are a defiance of everything that we hold logical and that should make sense. They are unique. Using any kind of rational thinking for projecting and things like that won't really work on the Ravens. They truly are a testament to their mascot, which is the Raven from Edgar Allan Poe's Raven, because Edgar Allan Poe is from Baltimore, and so they named the team literally after him, after his poem. And they embody that. They have one of the most badass uniforms and logos and team names there is, in my opinion. I think it's fucking awesome. Like, if I was from Baltimore, I'd be proud to be a Ravens fan. That's a badass thing, right? But they are weird, guys. They are weird. They won 2 Super Bowls with quarterbacks who nobody thought shit about. They're always there. They're always around. They're always up to something. They're always in your fucking face. They could suck. They could be like a 4-12 team, right? Or some shit. And they'll go into New England and nearly beat our asses. It's like, what? Or 2009, nobody even saw them coming. They had Joe Flacco, and nobody gave a shit. He was a young quarterback at the time. Nobody knew much about him, really cared about him or anything. They come to New England, and they torch our asses. I mean, it's a complete annihilation. Why? How does this happen? And then the next year, they're in the AFC Championship game. It's like, what the fuck? All right? Why? How? How is this possible? They're in the AFC Championship game, and they only lose. Almost beat us. We win because their kicker shanked a field goal, and who's to say if that would have gone on to win the game or whatever later, because you would have had to go into overtime. But the point is, they played us very hard, and they were this close to the Super Bowl. And then in 2012, they beat our asses in the AFC Championship game in New England, and then went to the Super Bowl and beat the 49ers. They are the weirdest freaking team there is. Makes no sense. Makes no fucking sense at all. I don't understand them. So when I'm going to analyze Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I'm just going to say this. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I can't tell anything about the Ravens ever because they're always up to something. I never know if they're going to suck or if they're going to be good. Who knows? No idea. So I'm just going to assume that if you put Tom Brady on the Ravens, well, that's going to be a really bizarre situation. I don't know what will happen actually. So we'll just skip that one. Edgar Allan Poe's from Boston. Okay, but he died in Baltimore. Okay, interesting. All right. Didn't he live there for a while though? And didn't he write the books in Baltimore or something? So Baltimore credits him for being very important to them or something. So, all right. I don't know actually my dad would know. My dad, Edgar Allan Poe is my dad's favorite writer. So you would think I would actually know more than that, but for some reason, I didn't know that he was born in Boston. But anyway, not exactly important, but good to know though, because I love history. So, but yeah. So with the Baltimore Ravens, who the fuck knows? So props to them. They're just a weird ass team. All right. So that means, I wonder where Roethlisberger placed. I bet he shit on him too. Huh?
Let me write just like that the search. Maybe he hasn't come out yet.
No, it was
Did the whole list come out?
It was a long time ago.
I think they want you to watch the videos.
So obviously, but
each one separately so they can get the views.
Yeah, but ultimately it's my fault for not preparing.
Yeah, but even if I'm trying, I cannot find them yet.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, do we believe that Tom Brady on the Chiefs doesn't go to the Super Bowl too? Better yet, switch them. Switch them. This last Super Bowl.
He's saying.
Go back to this last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Put Patrick Mahomes on the Bucks. Put Tom on the Chiefs. Now remember, Mahomes on the Bucks no longer comes with Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and Rob Gronkowski. The three guys who made up for all of the touchdowns in the Super Bowl. They're not there. So basically, the Bucks are the same team they were the year before with Jameis Winston except they have just upgraded with a much better, but another big arm, deep throwing quarterback. Now, on the Chiefs side, they've got Gronk to back up Travis Kelce. Holy shit. All right? Seriously? You add Antonio Brown. So who are you going to cover? Tyreek Hill? Or Antonio Brown? And now the Chiefs got a running game with Leonard Fournette. Something that they didn't seem to be able to get going. Oh, but Mahomes' offensive line broke down because they got injured. Well, how would you fix that? By reading the defense, by getting rid of the ball, getting rid of it fast, knowing where to go with the ball, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. And I guarantee you Tampa Bay couldn't have gotten to the quarterback like they did with only 4 guys on the line, 4 rushers. Sometimes I saw them get to Mahomes with only 3. That is insane. Okay? Those are also, not all of them, but a lot of them what's known as a coverage sack. A coverage sack basically means that the secondary and the linebacking unit has protected all of the receivers so well that the quarterback has nowhere to go with the ball, so even 3 rushers can get to him in time and mess him up. So Andy Reid now has Tom Brady out there. And now Steve Spagnuolo, his defense is not in trouble anymore. Remember, they were in trouble. They had their backs up against the wall. When you've got a quarterback who changes the pace of the game like Tom Brady does, the defense can now take a few risks. They can get a little more creative. And then when you can get creative, you become what? Unpredictable, right? And when you're unpredictable, you have no idea what happens because the game plan that the other team had for you is now out the window. And that's what we saw with Tampa Bay. So the Chiefs planned for a certain game plan against the Bucs defense, but because of Brady dictating the situation, because you remember, when you have a guy like Brady and you're confident, you know that you can take risk on the other side. So who wins the Super Bowl now? Now it gets interesting, doesn't it? If you switch them.
Well, according to Chris Sims, it's obvious that Mahomes wins.
Well,
to him, it's obvious.
Mahomes had better coaching. Mahomes has Andy Reid. Tom has Bruce fucking Arians. Really? Yeah. So, advantage Chiefs. Okay? So, wow. Having Tom Brady on the Chiefs is literally putting Andy Reid's mind, okay, the offensive genius that he is, putting his brain inside a player and having that player act out what's in Andy Reid's head. Well, that's freaking scary, guys. A quarterback that's on the field that can predict the defense as well as Andy Reid can, maybe even better. Probably better. Yeah. Actually, yeah, better. Tom would have a better instinct for it, what's coming, from his vantage point. Now you've got Steve Spagnuolo, who's what? Famous for what? Famous for the 2007 Giants that stopped our undefeated season. Why? Because they kept getting to Tom Brady. They're teeing off on Tom Brady. Now all of a sudden they can take those risks because they got Tom fucking Brady. They're like, oh, okay, well, we got Tom. He can change the pace of the game. And now because they've got Tom Brady, the Bucs defense can't do what they wanted to do.
So it's a lot more complicated than, and more things are involved than just replacing the 2 players in the current teams. Because like you said, when Mahomes goes to the Bucs, doesn't mean those players would be there because Tom created that. He brought this to Tampa Bay. Gronk and etc. He's the leader, and that's just not going to work the way he's saying it.
That brings us to Aaron Rodgers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is an interesting situation. So Aaron Rodgers is notoriously one of the worst teammates there is for when it comes to great quarterbacks. I don't care what people say. It's obvious. You can see it. You can see that he is difficult to coach. He is difficult to be a teammate with. He is just difficult in general. And as difficult as he is, they still were able to go to back-to-back NFC Championship games. What was the difference maker for the Packers? It was Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because the quarterback is that important. And a great quarterback is that important. So a coach who would otherwise, in my opinion, be shitty, who would make the Packers end up looking like all the other shitty teams coached by guys who shared a urinal with Sean McVay, it would be no different. But this guy had Aaron Rodgers. So he looks like a genius. He looks like a winner.
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur. Anybody with a French name cannot be that great on their own. Okay? I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. It's just not possible. Yeah, I saw an opportunity there to take a shot at the French. I can't help it.
It's okay.
Okay. But let's put Tom on Green Bay. Okay. Again, same scenario. All that same thing is happening, but Tom brings those 3 extra guys with him. Now, that defense is not that bad. It is not as bad as people make it sound like. It's not as bad as Aaron Rodgers apologists want to make them seem like. Could Tom at very least get them to an NFC Championship game like Aaron did? Absolutely he could. Could he have won that game and got them to the Super Bowl? Yes, I believe he could have. But he wouldn't have been playing against Tom Brady, would he? Because that's what stopped Aaron Rodgers. So who would Tom have been playing in that situation? We don't know, right? But Tom, if Aaron Rodgers makes Green Bay an NFC Championship level team, then so does Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady is a better leader, a better motivator, easier to coach. He listens. He's willing to accept responsibility for things he does wrong. He's willing to say, my bad, that was on me, let's fix this. Mm-hmm. All of those things that motivates the guys. Helps the coaching staff. The coaching staff, if you can be coached, the coaching staff can now do more things. The coaching staff has a confidence to come up with new ideas, and they're not strapped as much. At the same time, I think Tom Brady goes for it on that 4th down in that situation. I think they go for it. Actually, I think Tom would have ran that shit on 3rd down. We've seen Tom do that before, okay? Still to this day, I don't know why Aaron threw that ball. It looked like panic, to be quite honest with you. But he should have ran it in. But Tom could have ran that in. Or if not, he would have gotten at least the 1st down. I know that's for damn sure. And he would have gotten really close. So who does that leave us with? Josh Allen of the Bills, right? Okay. I think Tom's situation with Buffalo is better than his situation would have been in Green Bay. I think Buffalo is a very well-rounded team. I think they work very well together. And I think of all these teams that we've mentioned, other than probably Andy Reid and Jim Harbaugh, God, why do I always call Jim John and John Jim?
Yeah.
John. Of the top 10 teams, I think the Bills are probably the best coached team.
Buffalo.
So that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If Buffalo was able to compete with Kansas City, and now you put Tom Brady on the Buffalo Bills, uh-oh. Because let me tell you something. Tom beat Mahomes and that Chiefs team in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City in 2018 with a less talented roster than he would have had if he had the Buffalo's team this year. Ooh, Ravens Ray Lewis. Elliot renders unto Caesar $5 and says, I never want to hear that Aaron Rodgers never had a defense because his defense nabbed him 3 interceptions. Fact. And he still lost. Yeah. Rodgers has no more excuses. Very well said, Elliot. And very true. Even though 2 of those interceptions were by like punts basically, yardage wise, but he still got the turnovers, and that is the point. And when Aaron Rodgers threw his only interception, Tom turned that into a touchdown right before half. So that's the difference, the delivery. And that ended up being a difference maker towards the end. Yeah. So, very well said, Elliot. I think that's all. We covered all the top 10, right? Did I leave anyone out, guys?
Ben, you talked about Ben.
I'm not sure where Ben was rated, but I don't think he was top 10. I doubt he would have put Ben in top 10.
Yeah. Okay, that's gotta be it.
All right.
Still would be curious to know who was first, but we'll find out. Maybe Aaron Rodgers was first.
I'm gonna guess he had Mahomes first.
So. Mahomes first?
Yeah.
Probably. Well, he's just wrong. Can we summarize?
Elliot, I always call John Jim, and I called Jim John, and when Jim was the coach of the 49ers, I called him John. I don't know why. They look alike. I mean, come on, man. It's the same name. It sounds the same, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
So, this year, he ranks Tom 10. Last time he did it, 15th? And then moved it to 13 in some kind of a revised version. And you know what he said? He goes, well, I moved him. He made it to the first 10. And, well, we're learning. I'm learning. Aren't we learning every time? So he's getting better. Hello? I don't know what to say to that. That's how corporate works. And I've worked in corporate. It's like you make mistakes. There are people who are really good at that. And they really can thrive in corporate and grow, climb up the ladder, are the ones who actually make the biggest mistakes and then somehow make it sound like it's a learning experience, which I get the concept, but in a way it's kind of own it first,
It's a bit of a cop-out.
Be like, you know what, I kind of suck here, so I'm not that good at these lists, let's get some help here. Someone, maybe an analyst can help and get some credit for it or whatever, but don't continue doing that and say it's just a learning experience. and get the millions paid for it. You know, I would think it's pretty off that list. There's just, then you have to have a different list that really, you know, call it something else. I know it's his subjective, Chris Sims's list, but it goes, you know, it's a major channel. It's like major media, you know. It's not some kind of person who puts it out there.
Yep.
It's got to have a little more objective criteria in it, based on the results.
It's
results that make sense, not just the eye tests.
Eye test. Oh.
Eye test.
Ooh.
I see a lot of potential in this guy. I'm gonna rank him like high because, you know, I jotted some comments here. You know that I think he's gonna do better.
Eye test.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. I hate that saying. I hate it.
So,
Eye test.
Torque.
Let me tell you something. Chris Sims, the kind of players that he likes, he thinks like a child would. Okay. So a child reacts to flashy things. They don't. They're not old enough to see the subtleties and the science and the brilliance behind what lies beneath that's not obvious, right? Because you're a kid and you're attracted to the shiny toys and the flashiness. It's why children always loved certain players that were all about flash.
Yeah.
And they usually don't appreciate the skill guys, the cerebral dudes until they're older. Well, that's Chris Sims and then Max Kellerman, okay? These guys love these guys like that. Nick Wright, they think like a child. So they're excited by Flash even if it's nothing really. It's nothing important. There's no real legitimate outcome, but it looks good, right? And this also, and I'm not actually joking. I'm dead serious here. But if you look at Chris Sims, the way he dresses and the way he acts, it fits. It just fits the whole thing and his attitude. But he loves every quarterback who is not the type of quarterback that he was. Oh. And he hates on all quarterbacks who were like him, meaning a pocket passer, not exactly a physical specimen. Okay? So there's a bias there. Because in his mind, if he promotes quarterbacks who weren't like him, then they're no threat to him as a quarterback and as a career. It doesn't hurt his legacy or it doesn't hurt his image. But for quarterbacks to do exactly the style he did and thrive at it, that pisses him off. And that's why he always shit on guys who came along in the early 2000s. Because that was supposed to be him too. He's a complete douchebag.
Yeah.
Now, I don't expect Chris to even know about our MVP formula or anything like that, right? No one really knows about it yet. But I just want to point out that a lot of work, a lot of effort went into this, and we tried to come up with a way to really show not only what the quarterback was performing, but the results of their work. And not only that, but the level of difficulty in its purest form, in its most potent form, okay? And that would mean when you're playing a team, you don't judge a team a team's defensive strength in week 11 based off of games all the way from week 1 to now to week 10. That's stupid. That team is not the same defense they were in week 1.
So you give it a different strength.
So we give it, we alter it, and we give it a 4-week rotation.
Yeah, right.
Any 4 weeks amount of time with a moving rotation, okay, keeps you in a basic frame of the peak of what they actually are, what they represent. So they're right there at the most potent of either sucking, or they're really good, or they're average. But that is the truthful. That is the best you can get without being completely accurate, because that's impossible to know exactly what their peak is, because you're also trying to see where they're going with it at the same time. But that is the most realistic. So we did that with not only defensive points allowed, but we did it with the wins. Like, so if a team is on a hot streak and if the team is recently winning, then they are riding that momentum. They are playing well. It means that they're gelling correctly and everything's working. If they're losing, it could mean that they've taken a lot of injuries. It could mean that they're in a slump. Something's not working right. There's a number of issues, okay? Or maybe that early in the season they caught a good slide of opponents that fit their style of play well, and now they're hitting guys who don't. So we have to take account for that.
Right. Got to account for everything that's important and in the right time and in the right manner, and quantify it.
Exactly.
So that's what
you
is
have
done
to find
in
a number.
statistics and analytics. So we use real analytics for that. Even for things that are a little more intangible, you still try to quantify it. You quantify it.
You do your best.
And you use the same criteria. Not like I picture just listening to Chris Simpson like, oh yeah, I had like this little note here and I jotted down a few things in it through my notes, like real artsy, but yeah, let's rank. So if you do one, then don't do, you can't, you gotta use analytics in that, unless, I don't know, unless it's accepted that this is a completely subjective, oh, I like this guy and I like that guy. Well, it's totally opinion,
Well, see, that's the thing about our formula, is that it tells us the quarterback's level of difficulty. Guys, we even quantify and factor in salary cap, okay? But not that simple. It's much more interesting than that. It's not just simply salary cap in general. It's salary cap that is on the field that the quarterback is benefiting from.
That's affecting the game.
And this alters itself as the season goes on. And by the end of the season, a quarterback could be playing with a bunch of nobodies, even though the salary cap for the team is high. And the perfect example is Mullins from last year, who was the quarterback at the 49ers. So by the end of the season, if you look at the San Francisco 49ers salary cap, they're at one of the highest. They've spent a lot of money. And so you'd think, oh, okay, well, they spent a lot of money. They should be good. But no, they actually had the lowest amount of dollars, the lowest amount of salary on the field that is helping out Mullins. In the $60 million range. Went from $200 million to $60 million. $60 million is what was on the field. To put it in perspective, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Brady, guys like that, Aaron Rodgers were playing with 150, 160 and up million on the field, either on defense or offense for special teams. So Mullins was fucked, or what they say, proper fucked. Okay? We have to account for that. So that means Mullins is now, level of difficulty is much greater. So he will get extra points for having a lower salary cap or salary teammates on the field with him. Dude, we looked at everything. I'm telling you, every possible thing that could alter a game, the outcome. We even quantified your coaching. We quantified your offensive coordinator. gave him we gave the head coach legacy points and what they have done in certain situations. We've given you the offensive coordinator and what they've done only as a coordinator. They don't get credit for what they've done as a head coach because that's a different job completely. Only as a coordinator, and we factored that in. And whether that was a bonus for you or whether it was a hindrance. And if you had a shitty offensive coordinator with no legacy points at all, you didn't get extra, but you got no negatives. Okay? But if you have an offensive coordinator who is a total badass, okay? For example, Cam Newton last year, he played with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels' legacy points as the offensive coordinator is off the charts. It's freaking insane. Okay? So Cam found himself lacking in the negative in some areas. Cam took a big hit with his head coach legacy points with Bill Belichick. A massive hit. Now, of course, we capped off the amount of points you could lose because otherwise Cam would have been completely screwed if we didn't. You have to put a cap on it. Yeah, cap it. Yeah. But yeah, he got screwed. It has
some effect.
Yeah, and Mahomes, and to Mahomes' credit, Mahomes had the second biggest minus because of Andy Reid's legacy points, and still managed to be the MVP of the regular season.
Right.
So see, what's the point? The point is that even with those negatives, if you're a great quarterback, you will find a way. You'll find a way. Somehow, you'll still compete. You'll still be up there. Let me tell you something. You want to know about great quarterbacks? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan defied everything that you could think of possibly. The dude was taking losses every week, but still popping up in my top 10. The formula kept putting his ass in the top 10. And I want you to keep in mind that when you lose a game as a quarterback in this formula, you are not getting full points for your passes completed, your touchdowns, and all that. And then when you throw an interception, you're getting hit, boom, hard because you lost the game. So Matt Ryan was losing all these games, not getting full points, but yet was still in the top 10. You know who else was doing that shit? Justin Herbert, the rookie.
Yeah.
So what's the excuse for guys like Baker Mayfield, who had a great roster? And I'm not picking on Baker Mayfield, but who couldn't get in the top 10. What does that mean? It means that Baker was not as efficient and as important to his team as Matt Ryan was to the Falcons.
Right.
And he wasn't as important as Herbert was to the Chargers. That's what that means, actually. And when all this is said and done, Aaron Rodgers was not the MVP. Aaron Rodgers had one of the easiest schedules, and I want to put that in quotations, easiest, because I don't believe in easy schedules. I only mean that when it comes to the moving 4-week rotation, that Aaron had one of the easiest, most resistance, okay, or path of least resistance. As were guys like Matt Ryan and Andy Dalton had some of the worst, the hardest. But again, yet Matt Ryan kept slipping into the top 10, in and out of top 10 during the season. That's incredible. That's what the formula tells us. It weeds out all this bias bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that I think Patrick Mahomes is way too hyped and they need to back off. The formula doesn't know that. The formula doesn't know that I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. The formula doesn't know that I love Tom Brady.
Does it have torque? It doesn't.
I think Ramsey's once in.
I know.
Go ahead and let him in.
It's been trying to.
The formula doesn't know any of this, guys. But Chris Sims' list, okay? Chris Sims' list knows that he worships Aaron Rodgers. Chris Sims' list knows that he loves Patrick Mahomes, and it knows that he hates Tom Brady. So where is the criteria for this? How did he come up with it? What was the parameters? But yet the guy is probably getting paid $1 million to do that.
Oh, more.
Such bullshit.
You know, like he said on that video for Tom Brady, I think, he needs to work because his wife wants a Hermes bag. He actually said that.
He said that?
Yeah. Hermes like.
You mean like the fancy, those expensive bags?
Yes. He basically said, yeah, I told my wife, you gotta wait, I gotta work here because you're gonna want a Hermes bag after that, right? I was like, that is quite
tacky as hell.
Tacky to say on, I don't know, just on TV. We know you have money, but, Hermes bag, things like that. It's just funny. But regarding the list, in fact, when you were talking about the points affecting throwing an interception, according to Chris Sims, he's probably going to give points here instead of take away points, because that is going to add up to bravery or whatever subjective factor that, apparently he values.
And not only that.
You can call it bravery.
Yeah, and well, it's yeah, exactly. It's him, and he changes his parameters, whatever they are, whatever they may be, and I'm sure they're not very specific, but whatever they are, he changes them for each player.
Consistency.
So
no double
different.
standards.
Yeah.
Kind of when you're ranking things and evaluating. I'm sorry, but otherwise it just becomes like a joke. It really becomes like Aaron was saying. A children's selection of things. I pick Hulk. Was it Hulk? Here, Superman here. I'm gonna get Spider-Man, and I think I've got the muscle of somebody else. Yeah,
and when in reality, like and when in reality, a smart person would say, "No, I want Apocalypse."
Yeah.
Because that dude is scary. All right.
Yes.
So, but a kid wouldn't see that, but an adult would.
Yeah. So it's just not serious, and quite surprised, to be honest, of the level of professionalism over there.
It's listen. The reason I like formulas and things like that is because I want to be surprised too. Okay? So like you guys, I want to put it in, the information in, and I want to see what happens. It's fun for me. So not only am I the creator, but I'm also getting to receive it the same way you guys are.
Yeah.
And I want to be shocked. I want to be.
It's like, also, let's check it.
Let's check it.
All
let's
these
see.
People who are on mainstream media and are really turned into like these big stars and everything. They have some kind of rankings and they talk about, well, let's see what, if you run it through some reasonable criteria, things that make sense, that are important, that are logical, that are statistical, because they talk about stats, right, all the time.
Yeah.
So let's use that then. And you said that in a, scientific manner. You're like, oh, I want to see where the Mahomes is going to rank and where's this guy going to rank. It's very exciting, right?
Yeah, it's fun for me. I love it. And that's the thing. And also, okay. Hi, Ramses. Hey, buddy. Yeah, don't let him get next to my camera. So.
That's exactly where he likes to go. So.
Yeah. Another thing I just want to quickly mention is with the situation with the rushing touchdowns and things like that. So the formula doesn't only it's not favorable to only the passing. In fact, The formula actually weighs rushing touchdowns and rushing yards for a quarterback a little better and gives a little more of a reward for them. And it's simply because of their lack of frequency, they're not as frequently used. So passing yards are there. They're always going to be there. That's the part of quarterbacking. But the rushing parts of them, they're not as common. Therefore, they makes them more rare. Therefore, makes them more precious, so to speak. So they're actually skewed a little better. So if you are a rushing quarterback and you prefer that style of play, you are not penalized for that. In fact, you are actually assisted. So, for example, if you were to plug in a bunch of quarterbacks in from 2015, Cam Newton is going to win MVP, no matter what. So he's going to win MVP, and he went all the way to the Super Bowl. He lost the Super Bowl, but any of his opponents never went that far. I'm willing to bet that he wins MVP, and Lamar Jackson probably wins MVP 2 years ago as well. And if he doesn't, he would have come really damn close, at least in the regular season. So the formula does not have bias against a quarterback just because they're not a passing quarterback. That's not the case, and we made sure of that because I wanted it to be true. I wanted every type of quarterback to be covered, and I wanted it to be no matter who you throw at it, no matter what you do, this guy is credited for what he does and the job he does. And that's what I wanted it to be. And I cannot wait until next year, this new season starts, because now we've got the formula tied down, tightened up. It's exactly how we want it. And I can't wait to see what comes out of it. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't ever evolve the formula like any other formula does. I mean, other ones do that too. And what I mean by evolve is we may want to add something if we think it helps us better narrow down what's going on. But I can't think of anything that we've left out that would actually make a difference. But we're always open to that if it means stricter, more precise evaluation. But I don't want to take anything out because that would change the formula itself. So anyway, I'm really excited about this season coming up. I'm hopeful about the Patriots. I think we're going to see a much better Patriots team than we did last year. I'll tell you this much: we better we better see a better team, because last year, I get it, I understand the situation, and we all do, most of us do. But I want to see this is Belichick's time to shine now. This is him to he got an entire year and a half to put together the team he wants. Last year, not only are you dealing with COVID, you Cam Newton was on a new team and was terrible. He also got COVID, but the situation was just shit last year. You're also, as a team, you're dealing with losing Tom Brady. And so there's a huge hole there. There's a big gap. And then there's most of the team and the coaching staff getting used to life without Tom. And that changes everything. So imagine, as much as we know that Tom affects the locker room, imagine what happens when he's removed from it. So there's a gigantic hole left. And in the Patriots case, it wasn't like when Brett Favre left and you had Aaron Rodgers, who came in and did an admirable job, even though it took them a few years to break through with Aaron, and he is a future Hall of Famer. They certainly didn't have that last season. But now they've had all this time to adjust. The sting of Tom not being there anymore is now dissipated. Now you're never going to get past it, but it's much more. You've had much more time to adjust now. No excuses anymore. It's do or die time for the Patriots, and they better be a challenge to the Chiefs because someone's got to put a stop to it.
Because I say so.
Because I say so. Because this goat talk, this baby goat stuff is getting on my freaking nerves. They're making me. They're just turning me into this where I have to always constantly point out that Mahomes isn't as great as they think he is. I don't want to do that. I want to be excited. I want to be happy about the new young guys and all that. I'm excited about Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be awesome, guys. So.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be doing that stuff. And then on the other side, we've got Tom coming back with all 22 starters from the Super Bowl are back. It has never been done before. In the history of the NFL, has all 22 starters been back from winning the Super Bowl. That has never happened. So what does that mean? That means that nothing has changed except for the fact that they've got 1 year in, and they were reaching their peak in the Super Bowl. That was their peak. Their peak wasn't in the NFC Championship game. It wasn't in the divisional game. It was actually the Super Bowl is when they were on their way up. It was the height of the trajectory. So imagine if they had hit that peak in week 14, 15, 16. It would be a bloody massacre all the way through.
Yeah.
So you would assume that they're going to carry this on. And why? Because now they've got a training camp. Now they've got experience together. And don't worry. Don't think that Tom is not going to hold them accountable and keep them focused. That's going to work. It's going to happen. So, what are we hoping for? We're hoping for a New England Patriots versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl. That is what I want. I hope that could happen. But we all know how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl. Anything can happen. For anybody. So that's what I hope for. Is it raining?
Yeah.
I thought so. I love it when it rains.
Yeah. Yes, I hope you. I got a key invasion again. Stop. Come here.
Michael McCourt says at least 10 wins. Our defense is back. 10 wins will get us in the playoffs, especially with that participation trophy number 7 seed. So 10 wins can definitely get you that number 7 seed. Most likely, I would assume. And the offense has been rebuilt. We've added a lot of good pieces. We'll see how all that works together. I think it was a mistake not going after Julio Jones. I spoke on this a little bit last week. I think that was a wasted opportunity. I would need to dive in a little more into the details of what would have made it work financially. But it can be done. Anything can be done. But I think that was a very, very big mistake on Belichick's part. So that was an error for sure. I just hope that doesn't cost us. We're in a situation, well, if we had a deep threat receiver, that's all we would need to make the difference. Similar to 2006, when all we needed was a deep threat receiver and we go to the Super Bowl. So, learning from that situation, they went out and got Randy Moss. I don't want that to happen. And if that happens, it's going to be very frustrating knowing that we could have gotten Julio Jones for a price tag that's not much. So. But yeah, I agree with you, Michael. Still a good O-line. Between Kim and Mac, he says, I'm confident it will be a much better performance than last year. I do too. I think it's just a much better situation. Oh, I want to ask you guys. I should have said this. I wish I would have said this at the beginning. But if you guys are ever addressing me or Milena or one of us on here, whoever's up here, put our name in front of your comment. Because there's a lot of times where you guys are talking to each other and I'm not really sure what to respond to or what is being asked towards me. So just please, please put the name in front whenever you're talking to me or Milena.
Yeah.
So if you said something recently, go ahead and restate that. Because some of these questions I can't tell if they're in relation to what I said or if somebody else said.
Yeah.
Patriots will go 8-9. Yes, Jalen, I can see your confidence in Belichick. It's legendary. So come on, dude. Seriously, that's not gonna happen. The only way that would happen is if the quarterbacking is complete dog shit. Because you got to have a quarterback. You can't win in this league without a quarterback. I mean, with the exception of that weird ass team, the Baltimore Ravens. I think with or without Lamar Jackson, they'd find a way to be a pain in the ass in everybody. So with Lamar Jackson, they're just that much better. But even without him, I think they would have found a way to pick up some guy at Walmart. Said, hey, you want to play quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens? Okay, sure. And then they end up, winning their division and shit. Okay, I don't know anything about them, but the rest of everybody else, you got to have a great quarterback. And I got to get used to the 17 games thing now. See, the 16 game season and the record is like melted into my brain. So you name any number. Name a number between 1 and 16, Milena, and I can tell you how many losses they have. Do it.
7.
What'd you say?
Between 1 and 16?
1 and 16.
7.
9. 7 and 9. Do it again.
Oh, okay.
Do it again.
12.
12 and 4. Do it again.
14.
14 and 2. Do it again.
4.
4 and 12. Okay, so it's an automatic.
Yeah.
It's an automatic response. Takes no effort at all. Now you've added in this stupid ass participation trophy money grabbing situation now where they're going for 17 wins apparently, which I still can't figure out other than just a complete dumbassery. I thought they were trying to protect the players, but a full-scale extra game and a lack of a preseason game has got to be the dumbest decision you could possibly make if you care about player safety. Okay? So, yeah, that's a different conversation. But the point is, it's going to take some getting used to do the difference now. Because now there's no even teams or even number of games. And also, this also means that some teams are going to have more home games than other teams.
True.
And to remedy this, they said, they'll benefit the next year. It's a new year. 1 year.
Change. What
happens the year after has no relevance to how they got screwed in the previous year. It makes no fucking sense. So if you're gonna be a dumbass and you're going to make an extra game, then you've got to make 2 extra games. So you've got to go for an 18-game season, which of course is stupid ass anyway, but so is 17 games. That's stupid ass too. So if you're gonna be a stupid ass, at least be a halfway rational stupid ass. So again, it makes no sense. I just whatever. And it's gonna ruin records, by the way. Okay, records are gonna start falling like flies. They already are, and now it's just gonna water it down even more. The game was perfect. 16 games was perfect. It was perfect. It's been that way forever. Like as long as I can. Actually, it's about as long. I'm not going to say my age, but it's been around a long time. It was 14 before, of course, but then it's been 16 longer than any other moment in the Super Bowl era. So that is what is the norm. That is what we do, and that's what everyone is used to. So it was just a good round amount of games for the season for every aspect and every measurement you want to look at. And now you fucked it all up. Oh, he threw for 50 touchdowns. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, wait, no, it's not. You had an extra game, dipshit. There was already mediocre quarterbacks throwing for 35 touchdowns and shit, and they suck ass. All right? And now you were throwing for 50. Oh, big deal. Okay, cool. That used to mean something. Remember when that meant something? Yeah. I'm not confident in our quarterbacks at all, Nightwalker. What you hear from me is hopeful. That's a different thing. So hopeful and confident, way different. And here's why I'm not confident at all, because I haven't seen shit. All we've seen is a shitty video of them throwing in the rain, and like I said earlier, we don't even know what the context of that is. I need to see in-game stuff. I need to see preseason stuff with starters. I need to see week 2, week 3 of the preseason. That will tell us a lot of what we need to know. Listen, guys can be made or completely broken in preseason. And one of the biggest stories I could give you is the story of a goat farmer named Giovanni Carmazzi. So in the 2000 draft, the 49ers needed to draft a quarterback. They needed to draft the heir to Steve Young and Joe Montana, the empire that the 49ers had created. They wanted to continue that empire, so they needed a new emperor, right? So they thought, we're going to draft the next great 49ers quarterback, and we're going to keep this shit rolling. And little did they know that the next greatest of all time, because Joe Montana was the current GOAT, and the guy who would surpass him was in that draft. And you know what they did? They didn't pick him. And not only did they not pick Tom Brady, but he wanted to be a 49er. They didn't take him. They took a goat farmer named Giovanni Carmazzi. So what happened? History is so fun, okay? It's like that meant to be shit, right? So it's the Hall of Fame game. Now, what is the Hall of Fame game? The Hall of Fame game is actually a week before preseason starts. And two teams meet at the Hall of Fame in Ohio, where the inductee in Canton, and where the inductees of the Hall of Fame new class is inducted there on the weekend, and then the game is played. Okay? Who was scheduled for that Hall of Fame game? The San Francisco 49ers, led by the goat farmer, Giovanni Carmazzi, versus the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Of course, Tom Brady was a backup, but he got a lot of the playing time because the starters never play the Hall of Fame game, so Drew Bledsoe's nowhere to be found probably. So Tom Brady was out there against Giovanni Carmazzi. Yes, the 49ers, the next GOAT was on the field. The next great Joe Montana was on that field that day. But he was in a Patriots uniform, not a 49ers uniform. But wouldn't history be boring if it wasn't for their little things like this, to where they're both lined up against each other? I mean, come on. Who could have written that better, right? But what's the point of this? Giovanni Carmazzi was sacked. He was pummeled that night, and his head coach and his coaches said he was never the same after that first day. That one night in the Hall of Fame game, one of the most meaningless game in all of preseason, is where Giovanni Carmazzi's career was completely destroyed mentally. And that was also the same day that Tom Brady impressed the coaches and Bill Belichick said, maybe we got something here. And continued to give him reps throughout preseason. And was so impressed that he kept him as a fourth quarterback on the roster for another year. That's what preseason can do. So I need to know, is Mac Jones a Giovanni Carmazzi? Or is he a guy who can get out there, take some punishment, take some hits, get some guys in his face, and make some throws? Until we see that, these little cute little videos of training camp and people throwing passes in the rain don't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean shit.
Damn thing.
Not a damn thing. So I don't give a fuck.
True.
Ravens Ray Lewis, also known as Elliot, renders unto Caesar $5 and says, and not only did they not take Brady, but they also made the same mistake by not taking Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
They didn't learn anything 8 years later. Actually, it was 5 years later. So it was even worse, Elliot. It was even worse because they had... they didn't have to wait that long. So they fucked up in 2000. But along comes 2005 and they've got another chance. It's redemption.
Yeah.
We've got the first pick in the draft.
They don't learn.
You got a guy who wants to be there. Okay? And who is on the coaching staff in San Francisco? Mike McCarthy. The guy who fixed Aaron Rodgers' mechanics when he went to Green Bay. So no matter what, Aaron Rodgers was going to be coached by Mike McCarthy. So no matter what, Aaron Rodgers was going to be corrected and fixed. Meaning that he would have been Aaron Rodgers we know, but in San Francisco. For a team he loves, for a team he worshipped as a child. They fucked up twice. How do you get Tom Brady in your hands and Aaron Rodgers 5 years apart and you
Screw.
I mean, come on. I'm not saying that they should have known that both of them were going to be as good as they are. But the point of this is that they wanted to be there.
Well, yeah.
Tom wanted to be a 49er. That right there means something. It means that there's a next level to what they want. They want to prove themselves. It's home. That's where they want to be. They're proud to be there. That's what you want. You want a quarterback who loves the team, and they're going to be much easier to deal with. And you had that twice. 2 San Francisco guys. Come on, man. Really? Okay, yeah. Well, that's not a that's not a shot at Alex Smith, but the 49ers coaching staff was much better prepared and much better suited for Aaron and his style more than Alex's. And Alex, for whatever reason, needed time to mature. And then over time, Alex ultimately became the better, more coachable player. And probably, more stable personality-wise, of course. But he still, even to this day, had never become as good of a player as Aaron is. So that's, no matter what, Aaron would have been the right choice for them. So,
Yes.
all right. You want to call it?
Yep.
On that note.
And on that note.
I want to thank you guys so much.
Thanks for joining.
I want you to keep in mind that, we're going to try to start doing some MMA stuff as well. And I will repeat, it will not affect my work and my work on football. That is not going to interfere. That is my brother Jason, who will be leading the charge there. And we have a few other people on board as well that I want to introduce you to in the future. We also have I talked about the formula. So all your super chats right now are still going to the purchase and the making of the trophy. But I also have a formula for the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now, it's obvious that Tom will be number one because no matter what metric you can come up with, he will just destroy everything. Mm-hmm. But it's not really meant to prove that Tom is number one because it's obvious. But it's meant to show us who's 2 through 30. Once and for all. And so with a very similar logic as the MVP formula has, but it's not as specific in certain ways because you cannot quantify per game basis for these arc of careers in the same way. It just doesn't work that
Slightly
way.
Different, yeah.
Because each season is independent of the other season.
Right.
So, but we do found a way to do it to where the eras are not a hindrance to the past.
Right. So there's a way of kind of equating them, like
exactly
making them of.
So if Joe Montana,
comparable.
Right. Exactly. So Joe Montana, let's say, led the league in the '80s. With 28 touchdown passes or whatever. I'm just making that up, okay? 28 touchdown passes.
What is that equivalent to today?
To lead in the league with 48 touchdown passes. Like,
so you have to compare
how would you compare it? Yeah. So
there's some things you could do.
You got to find
mathematically
an equivalency there. And that equivalency is ranking. Okay? And the distance of the ranking from your peers, and that will be the modifier. So era won't mean shit.
Right.
So this is a legitimate way to get rid of that era bias. Okay? Mm-hmm. So nobody can come in and say, oh, well, Tom Brady's the GOAT, but if he played in the 1960s or 1980s, he wouldn't be the GOAT. It would be, well, blah, fucking blah.
Yeah,
okay?
Well, we got the way to compare it.
It's not going to matter.
Yes.
It's not going to matter if you want to transport Tom to the 1980s or if you want to transport Joe Montana to now. It makes no damn difference.
It makes time travel possible.
And it makes exactly. It makes it makes it to where you can switch them and you still get the same outcome.
Right.
So there you go.
We could do all kinds of scenarios there.
Yeah, because if you put Tom, back then yes, Tom's got a lot of advantages, but there's a lot of things he doesn't have an advantage on. But that would be as where he wouldn't have the 30 years of quarterback knowledge in general that's been amassed over time and within coaching that has been learned by the past. Because now he would be in the 80s without that knowledge, right? But what would balance that out would be he's on a team with no salary cap, meaning he's with all these badass players, so that's evened out. As where if you transport Joe to now, okay, so Joe, physically, it's a bit different for this era. But now he's dealing with the salary cap. So he's having to lead a team that isn't stacked necessarily speaking. So it balances out in that manner because you would assume Joe would thrive in the pass-happy game it is now, but it would be equalized by the lack of a loaded roster. So no matter what you do, and there's other things too, I'm just giving that an example, but no matter what you do, no one is at an advantage. No one is at a disadvantage. It's fair. It's equal. It's straight up. And we're going to do that. But anyway, so the point of that is that we hired an artist. Her name is Sophia.
Oh, yes.
And you guys are going to meet her next Friday. So we're going to have her on the show. I want to introduce you guys to her. And she's been drawing all of the players for all 30 greatest quarterbacks of all time. So once she's got those drawings done, we will release those videos. And I think it's appropriate for each quarterback to have their own video. So it'll be a countdown.
Yeah.
Okay? Sound good to you guys? Yeah. All right. So that's everything. Please join the Empire if you have not joined. There's a lot of perks there. And we have a once a month membership session where we all talk. It's an open floor. Think of it like an investors meeting where people who buy stock in a company and they go in a meeting and they talk about things and they just have an open discussion, all that stuff. So it's very group friendly oriented. We're kind of like a club, or I'm kind of like your cult leader. In a sense, if you like that term. If you don't, you could call me Emperor, you could call me Pastor, or Brother VonAllen. Okay, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah. So I'm in just such a great mood tonight. I'm very talkative. I feel good tonight.
Yeah.
So.
And but just for those who have not been during the show when we presented the rankings, I think we're gonna go over it again. Like you said, we'll create a video for each one, and then we'll create another summary video for all of them, and we're gonna publish it on the website, which is also coming up. And also, I was gonna say, for those who are not familiar or sure what we're talking about, could you say again about what we're doing, about the trophy, and also your super chats? We'll go towards that, and you name that information.
Oh yeah, so all your super chats that you send goes towards the purchase of the trophy, but it puts your name on a plaque that will be going to Tom Brady along with the trophy.
Right.
And it's in order of okay, so we go from top to bottom in order of how much accumulated you've donated to the thing. But no matter what, your name gets on the list. It doesn't matter if it's a $2 super chat or higher. You will be on there somewhere. So that's just a cool way that we thought of to help raise money, because this trophy is damn expensive. It's crazy what we're putting into this thing. It's got to be amazing, because this is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need to open it and they need to be impressed. There's so much that is involved in this. It's kind of a make or break thing for us, where we're putting everything we have into it, and hopefully that the Buccaneers will appreciate it. So, so keep in mind when you send a super chat, that's where it's going right now, and it's helping so much. So thank you guys for that, and look for videos all this upcoming week. I've got a lot prepared. They're mostly ready to go. They just need to be uploaded and spaced out, because YouTube doesn't like it when you upload a bunch of videos at the same time. But we will see you live like this next Friday, and it will be our last show in Bulgaria, so we'll be saying goodbye to Sofia, Bulgaria next Friday night. So, and again, we will have our new artist as a guest, Sophia, next week. So. Talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks a lot for y'all's support. All right?
Good night, guys.
Good night.